I'm live. I know I'm late. Um, Come on, computer. Turn on. Thank you. Hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello, Chris. Hello. Hi, I know I'm late. I went to go see like a midnight show of Doctor Sleep last night, and nobody told me that that movie was like 3 hours long. So I ended up getting a really late start this morning because I slept in. I didn't get up until like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Because the movie's like 3 hours, it's 151 minutes. I thought it was going to be a cute little, 2 hour, hour and a half midnight show. No, it was not. Hi. Hi, Nate. Hi, Queen. I have not heard it yet, but Nate, I haven't heard it yet, but I've seen some of the stuff she's posting on Instagram. It looks interesting. She looks kind of inspired by Solange. I don't know if maybe that's a reach, but that's what I've been getting, which is fine. Kind of like Solange meets, I don't know, Summer Walker with like her pole dancing, her pole dancing is awesome, and she could always dance. So it's kind of interesting to see her like exploring different mediums and stuff, which is, and she's been like doing karate and stuff. It's been very interesting sort of watching like the evolution of Twigs over the last year. So, how was it, Chris? How was Doctor Sleep? It was. Hi, Mar. Hi, Ebony. You're upset you didn't go see Doctor Sleep? You were gonna see it last night? It's long. It's long. It's really, really long. I'm literally here drinking coffee in the fucking afternoon because I feel like I just did not get enough sleep because I was up so late watching that movie. And then like home, even though the movie theater wasn't that far, but then like come home and like wind down. I feel like I probably didn't go to sleep until like fucking 4 or something. Um, it was, I don't know. Maybe I could do a review of Doctor Sleep. I partied all night at the movie theater. Maybe I could do a review of Doctor Sleep because there is a black main character, the little girl, Abra, which was like the only reason why I wanted to go see it in the movie theater. Hi, Remy. Oh yeah, you did say your kid loves Jodeci, so you've been like binging. But yeah, the little girl Abra, who's like one of the main characters, is black. So I'm considering reviewing it for the channel. I liked it. It was overly long, um, and parts of the movie are like disjointed. They feel disjointed because, I mean, and that's kind of not really the filmmaker's fault. Well, I don't know. I guess it kind of is because like the movie The Shining is very different from the book The Shining, and the movie is like so popular that obviously people that want to see Doctor Sleep because it's a sequel to The Shining, they want to see stuff from The Shining the movie. But like it's hard. It's hard when you're doing like film adaptations of like book stuff and stuff is different because like the book Doctor Sleep is like in the book The Shining, at the end of the book the hotel like blows up. It gets completely destroyed. And so in Doctor Sleep, there's nothing of the Overlook Hotel, and there's like nothing of that like original stuff from The Shining. But since that stuff is so famous in the movie, if you go see a sequel to The Shining, a sequel movie, it's like you want to see all that stuff. So they had to like change so much stuff in Doctor Sleep because in the book Doctor Sleep, the hotel's not even there. So the movie, you could tell they were trying to like pay homage to the movie, Stanley Kubrick's movie, but also stay true to Stephen King's book. But it's like the movie's totally different than the book, so it's kind of hard to do both, and you end up with a film that's like a little bit disjointed and rocky, and so long. Because I feel like they was probably trying to figure out like how are we gonna cram everything in there that we know people want to see. Hi, Chesnico. I thought I was a spring chicken. I thought I was going to see a regular 2-hour movie. 151 minutes? What is this, Lord of the Rings? I wanted to see Dr. Sleep too because I love The Shining. I love Stephen King, so I was excited about it. Hi, Ori. I mean, I'm not going to say it wasn't a bad movie. Especially like for how long it was. I was never like bored. Hi, Ori. Hi, Divine Hag. You think the movie's better than the book? You think the movie The Shining is better than the book? I like the movie better than the book too. Because I like the movie better than the book too. I like the book, but the movie is way different than the book. And the movie plays up like like the ghost aspect and the spirits aspect of it more. The book is more about like the destruction of family and like alcoholism and stuff, because like Stephen King was an alcoholic. But I like the ghost stuff in the movie a lot more. It's almost like in the book, the ghost stuff and the hotel being haunted is like a metaphor for the main character being an alcoholic and like the destruction of his family. Stanley Kubrick was like, fuck all that metaphorical shit. I'm making like a straight up ghost story. Fuck that. Even though he like still included those elements in the movie, I think his approach was better. I think Stephen King's approach was like way personal because it was a personal story. Hi. Yeah, we can watch The Shape of Water. Is it still on Netflix? Hope the baby gets better, Remy, said Queen. There's been this trend of 2-hour, 45-minute plus movies lately. I'm not sure how to feel about it so long. Right? They're too long. The movies are too long. The movies are too long. Why is my internet not connecting, you guys? What's happening? Why is my internet on my computer not connecting? Come on. What the fuck? Why? I know the internet's working because I'm fucking live right now. The internet on my computer is like acting really weird. It's like really slow. It's probably because I have 135 tabs open, but we're not going to talk about that, y'all. You haven't heard of Dr. Sleep, Mar? It just came out. How was a movie 3 hours long? That's almost like torture. If it's not Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, there's no reason for your movie to be that long. Hi, Real Trini. Hi, Kyrie. It's The Shape of Water. 151 minutes is damn near 3 hours. Dr. Sleep is a... Dr. Sleep is a... What is happening? It's a sequel to The Shining. Oh, it's not on Netflix anymore? No. Okay. Hi. Really? You didn't like Terminator? What didn't you like about it? Monica, my friend loved Terminator. My friend like really, really, really fucked with it and enjoyed it. What didn't you like about it? I might have to close the Force Quit Safari. No, I don't want to. I don't want to. I might have to though, y'all. Because I'm getting the spinning wheel of death. It's not loading. At some point, I love Stanley Kubrick too. I saw Doctor Sleep. I saw it last night. I said I know I'm late. I'm late today, but that's because I saw a midnight showing of Doctor Sleep last night, and the movie's like 3 hours. So I didn't get home until late, and I didn't get up until late. Which is why I'm late. And now my Safari is acting crazy. No, open. I'm gonna have to restart my computer. My whole application is like not working at all. It's not loading. Why does nothing ever turn out like it should? Netflix took it off. Shape of Water is not on Netflix. No! Open. Okay, it's really not working. Let me restart my computer. Oh, super chat. Justin, thank you. Hi. Terminator needs to terminate. The snow hits tomorrow in Michigan. Ooh, good luck. I thought I was bad with my tabs. I think it's custom to have 1,000 tabs open. It chapter 2 was damn near 3 hours long. It could have been cut down at least 45 minutes. Not necessary. And I didn't even see it chapter 2. It looked bad. And I heard that it was bad. And I feel like these filmmakers just, I don't know, like, Doctor Sleep had like a weaker opening than they were expecting. And I was like reading about it. And the shit that I was reading, the person was like, how could Dr. Sleep have such a weak opening when people like flocked to go see It, which was a lesser known property? It's like, well, number one, the first It was like a really good movie and it wasn't 3 hours long. Like, there's all these things that come into play. Like, people think just because of like a name, like, that people just gonna go watch a fucking 3 hour long movie. Like, no, just because it's Stephen King's Doctor Sleep or whatever does not mean that people are gonna like flock to go watch a 3 hour movie just because. Okay, there, it's working now. Hi, Davey. I have so many tabs open, it's really bad. And then my Safari acts up, and I have no one to blame but myself. I'm literally the same way with 1,000,000,001 tabs. Hi, Chris. Happy Sunday. Let's keep this seasonal affective disorder at bay. You liked it, Kyrie, the new Terminator? My friend loved it. My friend said, and these were his exact words, it was fucking fantastic. Like, my friend really enjoyed it. He saw it twice already, and it hasn't been out that long. Oh, Doctor Sleep is the sequel to The Shining by Stephen King. I didn't spoil it. I'm just talking about how long it is. Hi, Razy. Random girl. Terminator did. I don't think it's a flop yet, but I think it's on its way to being a flop. I don't really know why they made another one, but I love Terminator. Oh, right. Okay, they have The Shape of Water on Amazon Prime. If you have a 7-day free trial of Cinemax. Apparently, yes, it is no longer on Netflix. It was. Might be on Hulu if you have Hulu. Might have to watch it online if You want to do the online thing. Probably got rid of Shape of Water in order to adhere to the salary demands of the Game of Thrones creators. Sigh. Oh, Lord. Hi, Justin. Yeah, I read the book, Raise Your Random Girl. I have not seen it. I have not seen it. Some people, Monica said she didn't like it, The Last Terminator. Oh, look, see, Monica said, I don't know, Terminator didn't seem convincing. Maybe it's the writing or dialogue didn't seem organic. And I see your super chat. Justin, thank you. I hate when that happens, especially when you restart within the system. Right, exactly. Like, I don't know. All of a sudden it wasn't working, but it's working now. Technology will always fail you when you need it the most. Bye, Remy. Oh, I'm going to try to get young Devontae Swing Jr. to drink some tea. Hi, One Eye. It Chapter 2 wasn't it. Chapter 2 was bad. It looked like they just went for like name recognition in the cast. Even from the trailers, it looked like they just went with all this name recognition, but that they didn't actually take the time to bother trying to actually make a good movie. Every time I even seen the trailers, I was like, this movie looks bad. Like, it doesn't look good. And it looks like they, and I read the book, and they definitely like rearranged some shit. Okay, the Hulu. So Shape of Water must be like a Cinemax thing, because even on Hulu, it also says Cinemax. Hulu, start watching The Shape of Water, add Cinemax to any Hulu plan, start your free trial, and it's the same thing on Netflix. So Cinemax must own the rights to The Shape of Water. Doctor Sleep is not a remake of The Shining. It is a sequel to The Shining. It's based off of Doctor Sleep, the book, which is a sequel to The Shining, the book by Stephen King. I think it, too, did have a different director, Queen. It Chapter 2 was long for no reason. The beginning was too fast and the end dragged. Hi, Savannah. Hi, Shady Saint. It Chapter 2 didn't even look good, Monica. It too was long and Oh, I'm gonna see that movie, Justin. I want to see it. I heard it's weird as fuck, but awesome. I'm definitely 100% gonna watch it. This just reminds me how Kingsman was such a great movie, and then the sequel was beyond garbage. I just saw Kingsman for the first time like last month. I might have already used my Cinemax 7-day free trial. Didn't I already use it for something? Didn't we watch something else? The fact that the sun is about to set in an hour blows me. I want to see that and Doctor Sleep. I love the Terminator franchise. I want to see the new one as well. Started reading the book, but then got distracted. Hi, Jaren. Yeah, I have lights on in here. There's like a light on, and my computer screen is like lit up in my face, but it's actually already dim in here where I'm streaming. They just want that Terminator nostalgia money. I thought that Terminator needed Sarah Connor, so I might go see it. I'm gonna see it just because my friend loved it and said it was really, really good. So I am probably gonna see it. I'm looking for The Shape of Water. I only like Terminator 2, that's all I need. Did you not like The Shape of Water, Raise Your Cranium Girl? The Shape of Water is great. It's on Hulu, but you gotta pay extra. Oh, Chris, you did super chat too. Thank you. Oh, you're talking about Terminator, Kyrie? The action was amazing and fun. I'm sorry for those who said it had plot holes. It's the same plot holes in all the films, really, all time travel films. Yeah, all time travel films, when you're dealing with time travel, there's always a question of time loops and like paradoxes. You kind of have to get over that. I agree with the Terminator 2 stance. Now, Terminator 2 is one of my favorite movies of all time, period. It's like top 5. Shape of Water is on Hulu with the Cinemax add-on. Fuck. Hi, Vans. We haven't started. I was late. Terminator 2 is the GOAT. Oh, yeah. Hi, Matt. We're watching Shape of Water. I think I have a link that works on one of these sites we used to use all the time that we haven't used in a long time. That has a bunch of numbers. If you guys know what site I'm talking about. I don't like saying it out loud because I don't want the popos to get me. Oh, yeah, and this link works too. And it's The Shape of Water. It Chapter 2 made absolutely no noise at all. It 2 was too damn long. Definitely could have cut some stuff out. Right? Shape of Water behind chains. Who's still out here watching Skinemax? The acting, oh yeah. And The Lighthouse was superb. Robert Pattinson did a damn good job. I'm gonna watch it, Justin. I really want to see it. And it's in black and white, too. And it has the Green Goblin, who I love, Willem Dafoe. I heard that shit's weird as fuck. I love some weird movies. I'm going to watch it. Maybe I'll catch it tomorrow, because tomorrow's holiday. Don't watch the Kingsman sequel because it's fucking trash and they're making a third one. Hollywood loves to run franchises into the ground. Oh, Did I like Dr. Sleep? It was very long. It was too long, I will say that. But overall, I liked it. I thought it was interesting. I was saying I might review it for the channel because the little girl Abra is a black girl. So I could review it. So I'll probably do a full review. I did like it. It was just long. It was very long. And it's like not... It's like not super close to the book. I don't know. I can tell they had a hard time. This is what I was saying in the beginning of the live stream. I can tell they had a hard time trying to stay faithful to the source material, the book, but trying to also put stuff in there from the movie that they know people are going to want to see, even though in the Dr. Sleep book, there is nothing from The Shining really in the book. So I can tell they had a hard time doing the movie, but it wasn't a bad movie. I think my number one complaint is how long it was. It was just too long, which isn't a spoiler. You should watch it, Raise a Kramer Girl. Watch it with us. Watch it. Hi, Alexia. I liked the very first Terminator. Terminator 2 was one of the rare cases where the sequel was better. Terminator 2 is literally one of my all-time favorite movies. Before The Matrix came out, like, the Terminator was my Matrix. I remember having Terminator 2 on VHS tape and watching it over and over and over at my dad's house. Like, over and over and over and over and over and over and over. The part where they, like, blow up the park and she's, like, on the fence and she's like... and she's on fire, and then she turns into a skeleton, and it's like a burning skeleton screaming. And when they go to kill the fucking black dude, and he has the bomb, and he's like, like, Terminator 2 is my movie. Hasta la vista, baby. Yeah, that's the second Terminator. All that stuff happens in Terminator 2. Sarah Connor was a bad bitch in Terminator 2. Bro, when they came to fucking bust her out of the nut house and she was already getting out because she was whooping everybody ass in there, and the fucking creepy ass fucking dude that licked her, I was like, look at this creepy fucking dude. He's probably a rapist. That's my movie. Shape of Water. Shape of Water. Shape of Water. Shape of Water. You should be able to find it online. I found a link from a site that we used to use all the time. If you guys know any of the sites that we used to use all the time, if any of you remember. I don't want to say it because I don't want to get, like, you know, the copyright police after me. Yeah, tomorrow's Veterans Day, Queen. Yeah, Willem Dafoe did great as well, but he's never done any wrong when it comes to acting. Also, I love Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. Yes, this is Alice in Wonderland. It has... You guys have seen this one before. It has the bread and butterflies and the Cheshire Cat. This is my favorite mug. I hate when Hollywood actually puts out a movie and I'm pleasantly surprised and then the sequel sucks. I pretty much wore out Terminator 2, Home Alone 1 and 2, Lion King, and Bebe's Kids VHS tapes. Yes, he did! Raise the Great Girl. If you, as soon as you seen him in a movie, you was like, well, he gonna die. That's Olivia Pope's dad. Sarah Connor whooped everybody ass. She didn't play games. Okay, we're gonna start, Queen. We're gonna start. She's chanting, shape of hairlines. Shape of hairlines. Rapists love working at psych and nursing facilities. Yes. When they showed him lick her, I was like, oh, he gotta go. I was like, Sarah Connor gonna whoop yo ass as soon as she's not fucking strapped to this table. Her reveal of her turning around and greeting the doctor who was studying her. Yes, Mar put it. Mar knows the site. Mar put it. So if y'all see Mar, he put some numbers. That's the site where you can find it. Shape of Water. Shape of Hairlines. I'm about to start in 1 minute. And the scene where the kid, where John and the Terminator are coming to get her, but she doesn't know that this version of the Terminator is good. And she sees it coming, and she's like on the floor, and they're like playing the music. Great scene. That's like a great scene. It's like a classic scene to me in cinema. Hi, Taro. Hi, Taro Cedar. We're watching The Shape of Water. Mar put where you guys could find it. It would have been interesting if they made a Shining remake based on the book, an alcoholic, hallucinating, abusive father. Well, if you liked those aspects of The Shining, the book, then you will probably like Dr. Sleep, because those aspects are more present in Dr. Sleep than they were in The Shining, the movie. It's like weird talking about the movies versus the books, because like when you say The Shining, everybody thinks of the Stanley Kubrick film, but the Stanley Kubrick film like removed a lot of the themes from the book, like the alcoholism and the abuse and stuff got removed from the book, but everybody thinks of the movie. But Dr. Sleep is based off the book. So a lot of the themes that were present in the book that were not present in the movie are in Dr. Sleep, the movie that just came out. But that's not a spoiler. Like, that's not a spoiler. It's really not. Because if you've seen The Shining, which, I mean, if you haven't seen The Shining, it is a sequel. So you're going to be confused if you don't know anything about the story. Like, because it is a sequel. So if you go in not knowing anything about the source material, you're going to be like, huh? What? Oh, yeah, no, if you guys don't want Shape of Water spoilers, that's fine. Shape of Water, Align 10 minute, Shape of Water. And Mar, if you guys scroll up, Mar wrote out the numbers for the site where you can find it. Mar wrote it. If you scroll up, Mar put it there. I be fresh as hell at the feds watching. That's my song. I be fresh as hell at the feds watching. Kyrie. I do need a Nightmare Before Christmas mug. Shape of Hairlines. That's my mom's biggest pet peeve, is villains licking people. That's an interesting pet peeve. Kyrie, you should see Dr. Sleep, because the main villain kind of reminded me of how you have described your mom. I think you would actually really enjoy it. And I feel like you will probably know what I mean by that statement. So I think you should watch it. Exactly, Vanity. Vanity put the part before I even said it. Also, when they came to bust Sarah out and the elevator door opens and she sees the Terminator, that's like one of the best film scenes of all time. When Sarah Connor whoops that pervert's ass, I love that scene. Me too, it's a great fucking scene. Those type of people work there to have power over people. Remember in Charlie's Angels, the villain who would rip out their hair and sniff it? That always creeped me out as a kid. Creepy Thin Man. I just watched Charlie's Angel 1 and 2 the other day. They have them both on Netflix. I'm starting. I pushed play. I'm watching The Shape of Water. Because it's 2 hours. It looks like it's a clean 2 hours. Because I can't watch another 3-hour movie right now, y'all. Highline 10 minute. I have several videos on Kendrick Lamar if you want to look them up. Like at least 3. Ozzy, I see your question about, you said, what do I think about Kendrick Lamar? I have like a bunch of, I have like 3 of them at the very least. Probably more. I know I have at least 3. Oh, okay, yeah, spoiler to The Shape of Hairlines, which I just started. I am 55 seconds in. I've seen The Shining and read the book and seen the miniseries. Now, I have not seen the miniseries, but I know King did the miniseries himself. And because he didn't like the movie. He didn't like Stanley Kubrick's movie because he felt like Stanley Kubrick like removed a lot of the emotional themes that he wanted, like the alcoholism, because Stephen King was like a raging fucking alcoholic, which is wild to think about. Like, he said he doesn't even remember writing Carrie at all. Like, there's books that he wrote that went on to become like classics that he's like, yeah, I wrote those while I was like blind drunk. I don't remember. I kind of have a little conspiracy theory that Stephen King was maybe getting drunk and like tapping into like alternate universes. But I know that's like out there. Carrie, he wrote and threw it in the garbage. And his wife Tabitha found it and was like, this is amazing. Like, what? And he was like, I don't even know what that is. What? I could barely write sober. Let alone blind fucking drunk and then have no memory, no recollection of the shit. And then throw it in the trash. Right? Exactly, Raise the Kratom Girl. His wife stay fishing his novels out of the trash. Stephen King will get blind drunk and write a whole book and throw it in the garbage. Throw it in the fireplace. And his wife, who's used to him being a raging alcoholic, has to like find the shit and be like, what is this? I love this opening scene. Yeah, well, we are watching The Shape of Water, and there are people that have not seen it, and so for people that are watching along that haven't seen it, no spoilers. So, yeah, no spoilers. I still feel like Sally Hawkins deserved like something for this. Even though y'all know like how I feel about awards, but still, she didn't have not one line of dialogue. Like, the bitch can motherfucking emote. And I love this set design. Gosh, I love this apartment. I love her apartment so much. It's so dark and moody. Love it. Y'all make me want to watch T2 again now. Charlie's Angels 2 is my movie. Now I'm watching it tonight. I loved both of them. I thought they were so fun and campy, and I feel like those type of movies are more about like woman empowerment than the shit that they're putting out now, claiming is woman empowerment. Like, and they were just fun. And the second one I really liked too. It had like Bernie Mac, and I really loved it. Sarah whooping the dude's ass reminds me of when Beatrix killed Buck and Kill Bill. Your name is Buck, and you came to fuck, right? And she killed his ass. I just really love the look and color of the entire movie. Definitely deserved Best Picture. And we had some like good old fashioned masturbation within the first 5 minutes. Like, you go ahead, Sally Hawkins, with your bad self. Charlie's Angels was so fun. And I am not interested in the new one at all. Oh, look, Julian just said the new Charlie's Angels looks whack, but you didn't hear that from me. Oh, the miniseries wasn't that good? I feel like Stephen King was like really attached to the emotional themes of The Shining because Jack, the character of Jack Torrance, represents him. Like, Jack Torrance was like a former teacher who was an alcoholic, and his alcoholism was like ruining his life. Stephen King was like a former teacher, alcoholic, whose alcoholism was ruining his life. And so, and like the fact that he like hated Stanley Kubrick's movies so much, I think he was just too attached. He was just too attached because that was like him. I loved her friend too, this gay dude. I didn't like the miniseries. You agree with the theory, Razy, of Stephen King tapping into parallel universes? Dreamcatcher is my favorite of his. Van said, what, seriously? That's insane. Yeah, the film starts off with everything underwater. Just Nickel, you're watching? Yay! I agree with that theory. His wife stay fishing his novels out of the trash. Carrie would be my second favorite of his. What's your first favorite, Kyrie? Look at them dancing. They need to maybe stop with Charlie's Angels. I don't know, but they cast weirdly. Yeah, I don't know. The cast looks weird. I don't know who none of them are except Kristen Stewart, who I have to say I'm happy to see her living in her truth as a lesbian finally, which we all knew since Panic Room that little girl was a lesbian. I'm happy to see. Oh, and when I seen Dr. Sleep last night, they gave some other trailer for some other horror movie with her in it, Underwater, with this blonde buzz cut that she's like sporting. She seems much happier now. She always looked miserable before, walking around with her face all scrunched up. Like, bitch, because you're gay. Like, you don't like Robert Pattinson. You don't like Rupert Sanders. Like, you like vagina. Like, let's just let it go. Like, a part of me thinks it would be great to live over top of a movie theater, but a part of me thinks it would probably be really obnoxiously loud. I don't know. I'm out here clawing to write everything. Right, Mar. Like, I'm out here struggling. Meanwhile, Stephen King back in the old days used to be like, let's take these shots. And, right. Maybe I should get plastered drunk, Justin Nickel. I heard that about Stephen King. That's actually how they defeated it. They had hallucinogens, tapped into a spirit turtle, Pennywise foe, and learned how to defeat him. That's me with art, but weed. Yeah, I think he was dabbling in nose candy too, real Trini. He was dabbling. Stephen King talks about the multiverse and says he was basically just a doorway or a mouthpiece for the story. I believe it. And, like, I hate playing into the, like, artists that have to get fucked up to create. But I do feel like after Stephen King stopped drinking, the books were not as good. But, like, I'm fine with that because, like, I don't want him to go back to being an alcoholic because, like, alcoholism is horrible. And he himself says that it was, like, ruining his family. But I don't think that the books that he's written sober have been as good. I'm sorry, Stephen King. I love your work. I'm sorry. Leave her alone. I'll come after you and the mute. Stephen King really needs to say thank you to his wife. Oh, she saved his career. I love the story about how he wrote The Mist. Yeah, no spoilers. Because some people are watching it. Like, Just Nickel's watching it. I'm begging them to stop with Charlie's Angels. There's no topping it. Yeah, I don't think there's any topping the original films. Like, they're so fun and they're so good, and just leave them. Just let them be. We got the show, and then we got like the early 2000s movies that I think really captured the spirit. I mean, it's been a while. It's been like 17 years, but still, no. I'll probably watch T2 when I get out of here. Yeah, she lives above a movie theater. Oh my gosh, and those scenes even in Charlie's Angel with Cameron Diaz, goofy ass dancing, like Lucy Liu as like a man eater. I love it. Beatrix fucked his whack ass up. The wall in her apartment is a faded piece of art that's pretty well known of the ocean. Isn't her apartment great in this movie? Look at them cleaning. I love Octavia Spencer. Everyone is dragging the new movie. It's in season. Oh, wow. She started the day off with a bath and touching herself. I'm not mad at her. She starts her day off right. No, it's not scary. It's not scary, Queen. It's not a thriller. It's Guillermo del Toro described it as like sort of a dark fairy tale. But it's not scary. It's not scary. Look at this evil one. Every time I see him, all I think is, I will find your son. I will find him. Zod. For every one you save, we'll kill 1,000,000 more. Man of Steel is a great movie. Yes, he loves playing a monster, this dude. What year did Shape of Water come out? 2017? 2017? 2018? I can't believe they let them in there near this fucking tank. I wouldn't have touched this tank. It's something in there. Of course she gonna touch it. I know that a lot of people had theories about this movie, so I know y'all have a lot of theories. Like, it's clearly something in there with a hand. He just looks like an evil white man. I think he's just embraced his look. And he's just like, I'm gonna just play an evil white man. That's just where I fit in. I always find it interesting the difference and similarities between Jack Torrance and Louis Creed. I know he was coked out for Cujo. Yeah, he dabbled in the nose candy. But I'm just saying, can you imagine being coked out of your mind and writing motherfucking horror classics like Cujo? Being so drunk you don't remember shit and writing a classic like Carrie. Like, I just can't believe, like, he wrote Carrie and then threw it in the trash. And he was so drunk he didn't remember writing it. He didn't remember throwing it away. Like, his wife found it in the garbage and read it and was like, this is amazing. You should, like, submit this somewhere. And he was like, I don't even remember writing it. I don't know. It's trash. It's just some shit I did when I was drunk. Oh my gosh. I need to find out what Stephen King was drinking back in the day. In The Shining, they say he drinks Jack Daniels. I drink Jack Daniels. Like, maybe I'm not getting drunk enough. Her sitting on the bench with the dude, the balloons was a cute scene. I'm just saying, Ebony. It's the honest truth. Oh, you like Stephen King short stories more? I like his straight up horror stuff the most. Like, Salem's Lot is one of my favorite books about vampires. I also really love Needful Things. That's my shit, about the devil. I also love Rose Matter. That's like one of my all-time favorite books. Rose Matter, about the abusive husband. And The Road, too. I mean, The Road. The Long Walk. Not The Road. The Long Walk. I love The Long Walk also. And I kind of feel like a lot of movies and books and things that are out right now about the whole, like, kids fighting to the death stuff would not exist without The Long Walk. The Long Walk was like one of the first. That pie nasty. Look at her spitting it out. No, spit it out. Let her spit it out. You just want to go so you could hit on the dude working in the pie shop. I shouldn't have to eat nasty ass pie because you want to hit on the nigga working behind the counter. You can eat that nasty ass pie on your own time. I'll sit at the counter and be your moral support. Look at all the pie in the fridge. Why is it green? I think it's supposed to be like key lime jello pie. Yeah, she can hear. She can't speak. She's mute. And she signs. If I could go back and give my old self advice, I'd say take better care of your teeth and fuck a lot more. I feel like that's good advice. She's not deaf. She just can't talk. She's mute. Yeah, Kristen Stewart. Yeah. This part is so cute, their little dance. Yeah, she is, just Nickel. I gotta go back and listen to Stephen King's history with his wife. Oh man, it's a lot. Being a sober writer is hard. Alcohol is everywhere in the literary community. Yep. Drew Barrymore's lisp in Charlie's Angels, Raise the Kratom Girl. And that's kicking your ass. Like, girl, get that lisp together. The running joke of Drew Barrymore falling for the bad guys was funny. Some of the best minds in the country peeing all over the floor. Men don't know how to aim. Yes, can't wait to hear your theory, Monica. I want to hear your Pan's Labyrinth theory too. Isn't all of Del Toro's films a dark fairy tale that could be a thriller but not scary? You know, probably. This one and maybe Pan's Labyrinth are the only ones I've heard him like specifically describe as dark fairy tales. But Pan's Labyrinth is scary. And he also does like straight up horror. Like Crimson Peak is like scary. The one with the teeth with Katie Holmes, I can't think of what it was called. That one was scary. Sometimes Del Toro does straight up horror. The Orphanage was really fucking scary and great. 2017, yeah, okay. I would be like, why are you talking to me with your penis out? Can you fucking put your penis away? Talk to me about this fucking stick that you beat people with? You're obviously a racist. Hi, Blake. Very thankful for Tabitha King and her knowing better than her husband. Ugh! He didn't even wash his hands. I'd be like, you nasty. Nasty ass. Evil ass white man. Oh, this is giving you Harry Potter vibes? That's interesting. What about it reminds you of Harry Potter, Divine Hag? Right, Just Nickel, yes. If Zod and the white girl from Get Out are in the film, they are the villains. Look, he's obviously beating something with that stick. He left blood on the counter. I couldn't imagine writing and being that drunk. I can't even write drunk or high. I can't either. Cujo and the Dead Zone are in the same universe. Like, most of his works are connected. Drugs and alcohol. I've heard so many people say that helped them create. Cujo was so scary. What is GRRM? What is that? What is that? I see y'all talking about that. GRRM and Stephen King discussion. What is that? Oh, look at his head. Look at all his blood. I love Needful Things. Have you read it, Mar? It's really good. Salem's Lot is insidious. The movie is creepy. I really like The Mist too. And I saw somebody else brought up The Mist. The booger sugar will have you creating masterpieces while being incompetent. Apparently Misery is about cocaine. Film looks like it's shot in the 50s. It's set in the 50s or no, it's set in the 60s because they showed like the civil rights movement when they were like on the TV. I'd be like, I have 20 minutes to render this lab immaculate, and you're not gonna tell me why I saw this blood everywhere? Right, we gotta clean up all this blood. We gotta clean up all this blood in 20 minutes. I'm calling the police. Stephen King basically invented the modern post-apocalyptic story as it is today. I have not met a mute before. Van said, has anyone ever met someone that was mute before? Black and white with the TV and the people getting the fire hose, the 50s. Look, she found his fingers, y'all. She found his fingers on the floor, y'all. I wouldn't have picked them things up. Look at Octavia. She said, ooh. Put them down. Fingers. Put the fingers away. Right? She just picked them up like it's nothing and put them in her little lunch bag. Look, she shook it. She shook it. On a lunch break. Oh, you've met someone that didn't speak, Ebony? Man, F that man. You take me away from my lunch break to work and there's a time limit. He lost his finger. She just picks him up like it's nothing. Look, they just showed The Creature. The Mist is sick. So good. Yeah, he was beating the fish. Where are his body parts? Oh, this is the first time, Alexia? Yeah. I was so excited. Oh, vampires. Alcohol is a spirit, so maybe it does open you up. Piss on the ceiling, gross. Oh, you don't remember Pan's Labyrinth? If you like to formulate theories about like films and stuff, Monica, you should definitely watch it. People have so many in-depth theories about Pan's Labyrinth, it's not even funny. Because Pan's Labyrinth is like really a dark fairy tale. A lot of stuff is like left up to interpretation. For anyone that's wondering what part I'm at the part where she's eating the cereal with her friend. He's like showing her his pictures. He's getting ready to go to his meeting. Hi, Kimberly. And we get pie. Look, she's like, no. I don't want any more of that nasty ass pie, please. Do men normally not wash their hands after they urinate? Some, like he said in the movie, some do wash before and some do wash after. I don't know what is the theory behind doing it before. I don't have a penis. I don't really know. But some do it before and some do it after. I think they say that it's because... I think some like to do it before because they don't like touching their dick with dirty hands. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. This MF ain't washing his hands. Sounds about white. I love typecasting evil white people. He washed his hands before peeing. Del Toro said he used to see the fawn step out from behind a grandfather clock when he was a child. Love that he never let any part of his imagination go. He refined it instead. Yes, Chris. And I love... Del Toro has also talked a lot about, like, growing up in Mexico and, like, a Catholic household and a religious household where they felt like him being into all the horror stuff and the fantasy elements and stuff was, like, the devil. And how instead he sort of just, like, channeled... Even, like, the religious aspects got, like, channeled into his works and all these different reoccurring themes of, like, clocks and gear shifts and these fantastical creatures and all these things from his upbringing in Mexico that I thought are just, like, really fantastic in the way that he creates these sort of dark, fantasies, fairy tales, and horror pieces. I love Mexican cinema, though. I find it to be really gothic and interesting. And it reminds me of Southern Gothic style in a lot of ways. Like, they're similar. And I do like Mexican filmmakers, like Robert Rodriguez is great, and Alfonso Cuarón. Alfonso Cuarón, Rodriguez, and Del Toro are like my big three Mexican filmmakers. It's really interesting visionaries. Mexican cinema is really good if you guys like don't mind subtitles, or if you're fluent in Spanish, which I'm not. A lot of white men don't wash after and don't care who sees. I've been in more than enough public restrooms to notice that. That is disgusting. Look at the creature. Look at Doug. That's Doug Jones. I love Doug Jones, y'all. Great body actor. Great creature feature. He's been Doug Jones and Andy Serkis, Gollum. Great. They deserve all the things. Queen, I'm gonna stop shaking hands. I don't like shaking people's hands, Queen. Look at how big it is. I would be scared. Maybe not, though. He doesn't really look menacing. She's like, here, have an egg. Y'all like boiled eggs? Woo! Scared me, y'all. Startled me. See, she's not even scared. And I've seen it before 1,000,000 times. That's why I carry hand sanitizer. A lot of people carry hand sanitizer. See, egg. And I love that she signed, too. I thought it was great. I loved this movie. I love movies that have differently abled protagonists. I feel like we've talked about this in Beeswick before. Like, I loved Alien Resurrection that had the dude in the wheelchair, and I always find it to be great. I like boiled eggs, but I don't eat the egg white part. You like boiled eggs? Just Nickel, Ebony likes boiled eggs. Just Nickel, oh, he yelling? I'm gone. Sally was amazing. Hold on, I'm behind. Let me see the chat. I really believe in people using drugs to tap into something. His fingers were taken off. That's what he gets for not washing his hands. His fingers are dirty. Delilah. They were under a cabinet, so the fish spit that shit out across the room. Oh, your mom works with mute children, Chris? What's that like? That's very interesting. She just picked the fingers up like it was nothing nasty. I like Pan's Labyrinth. Very good film. Eliza Esposito. Doesn't Esposito mean orphan? They found her by the river. Look, y'all, they try to put the fingers back. You see these pale look, them fingers dead. Look, she got his ring. Boy, them fingers dead. There was mustard on them. A paper bag. It was all we had, sir. No, she's not deaf. She's mute. Mute, sir. She can hear you. I loved her signing. It was great. It was so good. Y'all see the scars on her neck? Who'd do that to a baby? The world is sinful. When you say so, Delilah. Her name is not Delilah. Like, it's her middle name. I'd be like, don't be calling me by my middle name like you know me. You don't know me, white man. The fuck? Something offensive? He's a racist. Look, he just asked her if she knew what an affront was. He's talking to her like she's stupid. Pan's Labyrinth is so sad, but very good. I wish Del Toro would make another one in Spanish. It would be great. I just argue with some guys not wiping after they pee. You should wash before because you're touching your body parts. I feel like you should wash before and after. Because what if you... I can understand wanting to wash before because you don't want to touch your private parts with dirty hands. But you should also wash after because what if you got urine on your hands? Or even if you didn't get urine on your hands, what if you got germs from the other people using the bathroom? Like, And I saw you guys also said about like touching the handles and stuff. I never touch. I don't touch shit in the back. I'd be like either with the elbow or I get the paper towel and I use the paper towel. Like I don't touch anything with my hands. You don't want outside germs. I sometimes watch before and after. Pan's Labyrinth is one of my favorites from him. It's great, but I was never sure about the reality of it. People have so many theories about that movie. Men do have to get serious and personal with their vegetables. I'm like, yes, you do use... Oh, because men say they don't use toilet paper, Monica. You told them, yes, dab the tip, you heathens, or else you have pissy-ass straws. There was so much talk about The Shape of Water that I had to see it. A lot of white men don't wash after. Oh, you were in Mexico last week? Oh, look, see, he did the signing egg. 2 hours away from Arizona. Queen, I'm going to stop shaking hands. I like Nordic, Nord TV shows and stuff too. Like Scandinavian shit, real trendy. I like that stuff too. It has such a, like, a bleak look. Only white people could survive living in them type of climates. But it is beautiful. But they be so dark and bleak and just... But I love them. Doug Jones has been in so many Del Toro films. Don't shake white man's hands. I love hearing him talk about his upbringing. You really shouldn't shake people's hands. That's why I carry hand sanitizer. Paul Mooney joked about Holly Weird's they hating black men, how they always put white women with monsters. Do you think we'll all have jetpacks in the future? Look at this man's disgusting dead fingers. And I loved, and also, this is not a spoiler, but I'm gonna say, his wife wants to fuck. Talk about some put your stuff away and then wash your hands real good and come upstairs. His fingers are dead. They're dead. They are rotting. And you want to fuck. Of course you want to fuck. Something wrong with white women, y'all. Oh! I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She's having sex with him, y'all. She's having sex with him. Oh my God, he got his dead hands on her face, y'all. His hand is bleeding on her face, y'all. Oh, white people so nasty. It gotta stink. It gotta stink. It has to stink. It has to fucking stink. When she put his hand on her fucking titty, I was like, oh, this white bitch into some nasty shit. She's into some necromancy. Deep down, she wants to fuck a dead body. That's the only explanation for her being okay with this. And him putting his dead hand on her face. And she wasn't even, like, disturbed. She was just like, sweetie, sweetie, your hand is bleeding. Like, bitch, you want to fuck a dead body. Only explanation. But I was saying, one of the things that I really liked about the underlying themes of The Shape of Water is that this white man is like a monster. He's like a monster. Hiding behind his, like, fake-ass fucking family and all this shit. Just like when they first show his baton and it's, like, covered in blood. Like, he's a monster. He's a racist. Like, he's a monster. Meanwhile, we have these people that are seen as monsters and outcasts of society that are good, actually fucking good. Look, she's, like, playing him the music. Doug Jones is great. Yeah, I've seen this movie a bunch of times. I love this movie. I saw it like 3 times in the theater. Raise Random Girl. I guess it's like a white culture thing to not wash your hands after you pee. It's not taboo like how it is for black people. Not touching doorknobs or public keyboards. Never heard of washing before peeing. I see why my mom keeps clean wipes and hand sanitizer. These are rich characters. Look at him laughing his fucking gills. Seriously, this made me start being real mindful of whose hands I touch. You don't even know. See, now like the water makes her like think of the creature, the boiled eggs. And I liked how the water was like a theme in this movie. This is a great movie. I'm like moving to the music. I can like hear it. I have not seen Mother. That's the one with Jennifer Lawrence, right? Sally killed this. I practically kicked doors open. I like that Sally had a sex life because movies don't like to add that. And I like that it started with like the fact that she masturbates. Like she's doing her own thing. Look at her dancing with the mop. Sally's so cute. And don't say a word. She's out acting your fave. Meanwhile, Jennifer Lawrence got like what, 1, 2 Oscars? But the actual white people that matter, like Amy Adams and Sally Hawkins, that's how you know these awards ain't shit. It's just people playing favorites. I said that when we watched Major Payne about having main characters that are like not always able-bodied and how it's great to see. Yeah, it is. I would definitely like to see more people sign in films and TV. I hate eggs. They make me sick. I'm trying to stop eating them. Because you guys know I went pescatarian, but sometimes I still eat eggs and I feel like it's cheating. So I'm trying to stop. Exactly, Just Nickel. I just got to your comment. That's not common for your people. He's definitely a racist. Like, he's definitely a racist. Like, Del Toro made this movie where the white man is like the monster, which I appreciated. The white man that in another movie, this white man would be like aspirational. Like he has the family, he has the house, he has the car, he has the job, he's protecting America and all this other shit. But in this movie, the way that it's framed, he's the monster. Loved it. Subversion. I would have run out when the creature screamed at me. I had a friend who's a writer and director who wants to make a film about a mute and deaf character. But she is strange and unusual, Raised Kratom girl. She's an older woman, not like a 20-year-old. I really like that. Oh, you talk about in Shape of Water? Yeah. I like that too. That was Sally Hawkins and not like some young girl. It's an adult film for adults. Oh, yes, and this dude is like a closet Russian. Everybody pretending to be something else that they're not in this movie. I hope his fingers aren't infected and he has to lose his whole arm. I know them fingers smell. The Extraction. We need more films with ASL. You wash your hands before and after. Use the paper towel to open the door. I use my feet to flush the toilet. I never thought to wash before. I use tissue to open and lock the stall. Oh, I see what your mom said. That's good, Chris. Your mom works with mute children. She talks a lot. She's meant for it. She makes breakthroughs with so many kids. Many are abuse victims. Oh, which is why they don't talk. Like, they can talk. They're just making the choice not to. Like, and speak. Most are just differently developmental. Yeah. I love 30 Days a Night. That's my movie. Then vampires be like... I was like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with these vampires? But I did like that they didn't talk. Like, I like that they didn't talk. You're doing it again, Zelda. I'd be like, bitch, you're doing it again, hating. I loved Arrival. That was my movie. Arrival was on Netflix for a while, too. They used the black cinematographer. Oh, gosh, and his cinematography is wonderful. Wonderful. Bradford Young. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Hey, Zelda, you want to smoke? We're watching The Shape of Water. Enlightenment. Don't worry about the cameras. We push them up at break time. Look at her looking at the cameras, getting an idea. See? Queen agreed that it sounded like necrophilia. Her having sex with him while his fucking hand is dead. And him putting his dead hand on her mouth. Look, they got him out of his tank. And chained up. I'd be like throwing water on him. Ooh, sorry, my cord. Just Nickel, sorry, I'm behind. You guys know I'm behind the chat, so I'm just getting to your comment. I feel like it's implied that Octavia learned to understand ASO from working with Sally Hawkins' character for a long time, so she picked it up. Kind of like how Sally Hawkins is teaching the creature, like egg and stuff like that, that she picked it up. Look at how he's like torturing him. There you go again, making that god-awful sound. Is that you crying? White people evil. White people evil, y'all. White men evil. They got the typical white nuclear family. The fingers never heal. He has to be in incredible pain. He's doped up and his fingers are rotting. Right, but he's just... It's the worst noise I ever heard. Let me keep jabbing you with this fucking electric baton so you can keep making the fucking noise. Nasty. He got that fake ass family. He stayed playing the bad guy. Oh, look, see, Nikki said, hi, Nikki. Not a spoiler. I think Octavia's character just learned ASL along the way as friends. She's a necromancer in training. Eliza! Covered her mouth that had to smell. This sounds like necrophilia. Not a dead body. Well, the whites are already pale. That's nasty. Yeah. He has the stereotypical white man life, the cookie cutter wife and 2 kids job, etc. But he's really the monster. Ugliest sin. You know, the natives in the Amazon worshipped him as a god. And he, like, keeps... Look, see, he just called the natives, like, primitive savages and dumb and shit. Like, my nigga, you are the savage. You're beating the shit out of this creature damn near for your own amusement. It's an animal, Hofsteller, just keeping it tame. Like, you're the animal, white man. Can alternate between 2 entirely different breathing mechanisms. See, they're like studying him for the space race. Hi, Owen. We're watching The Shape of Water, aka The Shape of Hairlines. I don't like shaking. Look at all this blood. They're obviously killing it. I don't like shaking hands and people get offended when I fist pound. Raise Cranium girl. If I could have a monster mate, what monster would I pick? Probably a vampire. Yeah. We need to get him back in the water. Because that shit was nasty. That's when my... Look. We need to vivisect this thing. Take it apart. Learn how it works. No, that would defeat the purpose. If you kill it and take it apart, you'll have no idea of understanding the way that it breathes. Or the way that any of the bodily functions work. Like, duh. I'm not counting the military stars, you bitch ass cracker. But we do know that he's secretly a Russian, but he does feel for the creature because they're abusing it. Mother is decent. I'm one of the few people who like Mother. I never saw it. Sally met a man and is glowing. Monica, you goofy. No, J-Law's not in this. J-Law was in Mother, Queen. Time check. Wait. Time check. Time check. Time check. I don't know if I could give you a time check because I don't have a time thing. There it is. 40. I'm at 45 minutes exactly. 45 minutes. Yeah. She's like cleaning the stairwell and they're talking about killing it. Now she wants to bust him out. She's talking with her gay friend about busting him out. See, like her friend understands ASL too. I feel like her friends have just picked it up over time. I love this scene too, where he's talking and she's signing. I think it's great. So what if he's alone? We're all alone. It's a thing. It's a freak. Say what I sign. I can understand you. You're not here. She told him, like, you're not hearing me. You're not paying attention. Calm down. You're yelling. She's like yelling and sign. He's like, okay, bitch. All right. Bye, Mar. Say exactly what I signed. She's like, pay attention. No. I make no sound. She's yelling without speaking. That's acting. Right, just nickel. Sally Hawkins is yelling without saying a word. He literally told her, calm down. Emote. It's a him now. It's a him now. Is it a him? Is it a thing? What is it? You just hit me. Let go of me. I'm looking. I'm looking. This is a great scene, y'all. They are acting. Look at her face. Sally Hawkins better act, boy. Sally Hawkins better act. Look at her face. Look at how she sat. She better act. She's giving a class right now. Hold on to them hairlines. The shape of hairlines. Look, see, now he's finally getting it. She's like, we could save him or we monsters. Like, if we let him die, I have to leave. Wait, so she's attracted to the fish. Yeah, Arrival. Amy Adams in that alien film about the circles. Are you Signs or are you thinking of Arrival? Hi, Tyrod. Because Signs had circles too. But if you're talking about the drawn circles, yeah, that's Arrival with Amy. Arrival's a great movie. Arrival's a great fucking movie. They picked the right actor to portray this racist bastard. I will say white males do find it weird to use lotion and body care parts. I loved Arrival. I saw it twice in the theater. I loved it. And it's funny too because the way that I seen Arrival the first time was I was supposed to be meeting my friend at the movie theater to go watch that weird movie that was about mermaids. It was like a foreign film that was about mermaids. But I got there too late. I like ran late. And I got there too late and I missed the beginning of the movie. And it was another midnight show and it was like a late night show. And so they wouldn't let me buy a ticket because I was like too late. I was like 20 minutes late. And the next movie that was showing was Arrival. And I was like, well, I'm already here and I like Amy Adams. And the movie looks interesting. So I just like bought a ticket and I like saw the movie by myself and I loved the movie. And it's funny because my friend that I was meeting to see the mermaid movie hated the mermaid movie and walked out halfway through it. Didn't even stay to the end. And I was like, damn, you should have seen Arrival with me because Arrival was great. And then I saw it again. Do y'all sneeze inside your shirt or cover it with your arm, not your hands, because it's just as germy? I sneeze into my elbow like this, queen. A lot of guys wet their hands but don't really wash them. Mar, I was told I was a mute kid, spoke very late. Oh, that is interesting, yeah. I religiously do it into my elbow. I can't stand when someone sneezes into their hand. That's definitely a pet peeve. It's one of my favorite vampire films. 30 Days of Night is a great film. Even though it was whitewashed, but... This movie's 2 hours, Crazy Random Girl. We're like roughly halfway through it. I have not seen Fleabag, nor have I seen Russian Doll. She let her skip to clock in. That's a real friend. Not interested in Fleabag, but I loved Russian Doll. Real Trini. He's really just fucking with the creature for no reason. He just wants to be in control. Look! This dude he crushing on is a racist. Now he better feel some type of way. Look, he won't let these black people sit at the counter. I also like the way that Guillermo del Toro did not shy away from racism in this movie. Look, you should go too. And don't come back. This is a family restaurant. You've been coming in here all this time spending your hard-earned money on this nasty-ass pie. And this dude is a racist and a fucking bigot. Meanwhile, you won't help your friend Eliza, who's been there for you, who's trying to, like, do the right thing. You should feel bad. So many different ways to interpret. Mother, you're talking about Mother? The imagery was intense. I also felt like it was low-key a movie that would mean something more intense for mothers. Even more sadistic, the sea creature was coated in water and he was electrocuting him. How sick is that? Raise the Credit Girl, give up the ghost on them fingers. Yo, the fingers, he's really like, your fingers are dead, bro. So now the Russian dude is like also trying to like get the creature out. They're trying to see what it's capable of and then dissect it. He's peak white man. I'm gonna start holding my hands behind my back. You'd pick a vampire too, Vans? A monster mate? I think I'd go with vampire, yeah. I wouldn't mind being a vampire. Jabba the Hutt, Kyrie? I think it looks so awkward because the wife was trying to be the perfect wife and lay there, kind of do whatever he wanted with his rotting hand. Mermaids? So your monster that you would pick as a maid would be a mermaid, Chris? I got all these war awards so I could do whatever, head ass. No, I've seen The Shape of Water a bunch of times. I just really, really like this movie. With movies that I really enjoy, it could be like the first time every time. If you say vampire, then you can't get mad at the chick having sex with the dude with the dead hand. The vampire is equally dead and cold. I didn't say I'd have sex with the vampire. I'd probably let the vampire bite me. I always feel like, well, if we want to get into like vampire lore, I always feel like the vampire biting you is supposed to be a stand-in for sex. I don't really super care for the idea of vampires having sex because I've always felt like the sex aspect of vampires has been like the bite. Like in fucking Blade, when Karen lets Blade bite her and he's like, and he's like biting her and she's like it's like they're having sex, but they're not really having sex. He's biting her. If it's something that I'm gonna have like real, actual bodily sex with, then I would probably pick a werewolf because werewolves are alive and warm. Boy, he just walking around with this wrapped up ass hand, looking at motherfucking Cadillacs and shit. It's not green, it's teal, like your fingers, like that gangrene on your hand. Oh, you said werewolf too, Ebony? Vampires are super sensual. It was a sex scene. It was obviously meant to be like a stand-in for a sex scene. Like the way he was biting her and the way that he was holding her and her reaction to him biting her. I never really thought of like vampires as like having quote unquote sex. Unless they're having sex with another vampire. I don't think of like vampires and humans as having sex. I kind of feel like it's impossible. That was one of the main problems that I had with Twilight. Was that I was like, how, especially because vampires are supposed to be like super strong and super hard. They say that their like bodies are like as hard as stone, like granite. So how am I supposed to believe that a vampire and a human could even have sex? Like, wouldn't the vampire like thrusting like break a bitch pelvis? Like for real, like if we're really gonna get into it, like I don't really believe that humans and vampires can have sex. Unless you're like Buffy and Spike having like sex because they're like she's super strong or whatever, but they would have to bite me first and turn me into a vampire and then we could have vampire sex. I don't really believe in like human vampire sex. I feel like it's impossible because vampires are just too strong. They would accidentally kill you. I'm just saying, I've thought about it. I have thought about it. Like I've thought about it. I like vampires. I have had the what monster mate would I want conversation with myself. So I would pick a vampire because I think them biting me would be hot. And then after I become a vampire myself, then we could have sex. But if we're talking about like interspecies fucking, I'd probably have to go with the werewolf. Because they are human most of the time. But after the vampire bites me and we're having vampire sex, like that would be hot. So True Blood went against your headcanon. Yes, True Blood did go against my headcanon. True Blood did go against my headcanon. You have to be bitten first and then boom, right. How would you, like Chris said a mermaid. How would you have sex with a mermaid though? Like how would, like in Splash, when she's on land, she has legs. So that's how she has sex with Tom Hanks. But I always wondered after they went back into the ocean, is Tom Hanks gonna like eventually turn into a mer person himself? I always assumed that like mer people laid eggs and that they like I don't, you know, not that they had sex and like had like live births like mammals because like technically they wouldn't be mammals, right? I would love to have a talented art friend that could do great forgeries. Wouldn't that be such a great friend to have and such a dope ass talent? Splash my movie, Vanity. It's one of my favorite movies. I'm so like behind the chat. Mr. Strickland. Can you call Miss Esposito to clean up a spill? I love art, Monica. I do. For real, though, the creature's the only one they have. If they kill and examine the insides and learn that they have more questions than answers, that's it. Right, because it's dead now. I do love this movie, Vans. Pay attention the way he looks at me. He sees me for what I am. Look, he trying to like... This is sexual abuse. This white dude is just... worst white man ever. Ugh! She like, don't touch me with that nasty ass hand. Talk about something I don't mind that you could speak. Trying to like sexually intimidate her, which is exactly what white men do. Creeps. She feels like she's a monster. She relates to him. Yes, Unique Cinemagic. We're watching The Shape of Water. The Lure, Nikki. Yes, that was the movie. The Lure. The Lure. It's like Dutch mermaids or something. Yeah, the dude is just taking the gay man's work but has no real intention of ever doing anything. Yes, just Nickel. The guy that serves a nasty pie is the guy that serves a nasty pie gay too. I love Amy Adams. I do. I feel like she's so talented and the bitch got the range. Amy Adams is one of the few actresses that actually has range and has been in a lot of different type of projects and does not get typecast. She's so talented. But she never plays sexy, and she's a little bit older now, and that's why they don't want to give her her respect and her flowers. The Mermaid. I will say I was surprised by Daybreakers. It's a pretty good vamp film. I love Daybreakers too. I really enjoyed Daybreakers. I like Ethan Hawke. He's kind of interesting. We were talking about Arrival, Unique Cinemagic. The server is racist. Never mind. I rescind my queer shipping. But you know what I liked about that scene, Just Nickel, was that they showed how, like, white gay men can fucking be racist. I appreciated that that was in there. Exactly, Razy Random Girl. How you gonna be a white queer racist? Oh, they be out here. They be out here. I know there are plenty, but like how? The 60s were a crazy time for hypocrites. The mermaid movie was The Lure. What are they planning with these fingers? Most white queers are white first and then queer second. As soon as they got the right to get married, they ghosted the process. They're still white. Me being a vampire, I would be so unstoppable. Oh my gosh, Kyrie, this Jabba the Hutt. I love the way Jabba talks. This shit is sexy. Not surprising because a lot of white queers today discriminate against black queers. I would say I would pick a werewolf as my monster mate, Ebony. Wow, Chris, all the way, yes, I stayed looking for Ariel when I was little. Not much has changed. I do love mermaids. A ghost? Real Trini, you pick a ghost? Your monster mate would be a ghost? Why a ghost? It's interesting. What kind of vampire would I be? Raise a Random Girl, 30 Days of Night, Interview with the Vampire, Buffy. I would want to be a Lost Boys vampire. Because I also love the Lost Boys. Or an Anne Rice Interview with the Vampire style. Because they're just like very romantic and old. Look, he's like letting her break him out. Mix one of these in his water every 3 days. Raw protein diet is a must. I do like the 30 Days of Night vampires too. But I really like the vampires in the Lost Boys. And I like the way that the vampires in the Lost Boys feed. The way that they like attack. But ideally, I would want to be a daywalker like Blade. So let me like take all that back and say like my number one is I'd want to be a daywalker like Blade. But if I couldn't be a daywalker like Blade, because Blade is like one of a kind, then I'd probably want to be a vampire from the Lost Boys. And then my third choice would probably be Interview with the Vampire type. And Anne Rice vampire. I would not want to be a motherfucking sparkly Twilight vampire. No. I would not want to be a Buffy the Vampire Slayer one because they all seem to have emotional trauma and issues going on. I would not want to be a 30 Days of Night vampire because they don't talk. And I want to be able to talk. Vampirism is about sex, erect teeth, hunters of the night, prey on innocence. Right, exactly, yes. That's what I'm saying. I feel like vampires would not have sex, and I don't think they would have sex with humans. And I kind of feel like it would be impossible, like I said, because they're super strong. But like the bite itself is it's an act of penetration. Like, why would they have sex? I don't like actual sex with humans. And I even like how in Blade, when they depict like them in the vampire clubs, the vampires are not having sex. Like, they're kissing with like razor blades in their mouths with the blood, and they're like cutting each other. You know, like that would be what a vampire would do to me, from my headcanon. And then the vampires would have sex with each other, but like I said, not with humans. Humans are food. They're things to play with. And even in the first Twilight, in the credits, like the last scene of the credits where he bites her is the sexiest thing ever. Like, the bite is the sex. In True Blood, if you wanted to get bitten, it was erotic. Yours doesn't have your Russian didn't have subtitles, Raise Camera Girl. Mine does. This is like the third time the characters in the film mention green. Also, green is a color that keeps coming up. Yeah, green was a big part of the theme. The green, the water, all these things are themes in the movies. Karen! She was like, while he was like biting her, and he was like biting her. I was like, okay, uncomfortable. This is like an explicit scene, even though all their clothes are on and they're not necessarily fucking. The fucking is implied. Like, Hello, scrambled eggs. In Blade, the humans are food. Men must write most vampire storylines. Angel and Spike both got souls. I could get one too. Ebony, y'all have thought of this for a while. I love vampires, and I've seen a lot of vampire stuff. I have thought of it a lot. Look! This is his first time seeing the creature. Doug Jones is so great in this movie. I'm just saying, tell me they wouldn't break somebody's pelvis. I've always thought that, though. Especially in Twilight, because Twilight literally shows that they're supposed to be like hard. So they specifically say repeatedly that their bodies are hard as rock, hard as granite, that when they play baseball and they like crash into each other, it's like stones crashing together. It makes this like thunder noise. So how am I supposed to believe that he fucked Bella without breaking her while she was a human, without like destroying her pelvis or her like literally breaking her bones? It doesn't make sense. I don't believe it. Let alone somehow his dead semen inseminated her with some type of succubus baby. Like, I did not like that portrayal of like them having sex and stuff at all. I did not like it. That was where everything went left for me. The True Blood sex scenes were the best, though. Biting in a lot of lore is a stand-in for a sexual act. And in True Blood, they'd be rough too. Like, what? Right. How did the humans survive this? I don't really believe humans and vampires can really have sex. The bite has always supposed to been like the stand-in for the sex. She put his ass in her bathtub. She got a nice big bathroom. Get the salt, obviously. He's supposed to be in ocean water. That little bit of salt. What that little bit of salt gonna do? She got a little salt shaker. Yeah, I'd have to be bitten first. So, my mate, if I'm gonna remain in my human form, though, like I said, I'd pick a werewolf. But if I'm gonna get bitten, I want a vampire. People have said that about Superman and Lois Lane, Monica. They show Superman and Lois Lane having sex in Batman vs. Superman in a bathtub. And people were like, how does he fuck her without breaking her? And Lois Lane is also played by Amy Adams. Would y'all really get turned if you fell in love with a vampire? Girl, you wasting the salt. You gonna need that salt. The salt, bitch, the salt. He bought a car to replace his fingers. While I like the idea of vampires, I always felt them being made through human vampire procreation was a little weird and hard to explain. I think how Blade became what he was is more plausible. Yeah, you can die if they drink too much blood. You die. If they drain you dry. Blade almost killed Karen. Either they're land humans or they have an opening. I see a lot of people going with this mermaids have an opening theory. Now, if we're going with the canon that mer people become human on land, then I might pick a mer person. In mer culture, the males carry the pregnancy like seahorses. Yes, it is General Zod, Owen! As soon as the movie first came on, I screamed, I will find your son! I will find him! Because that is General Zod. And then I said, Owen, I was like, he always plays the evil white man in everything. Is this white man about to sexually assault her? Yup. This is harassment. Talking about, do you make noise? Why is he grabbing everyone with the dead hand? Run, precious mute woman, run. I'm not fucking a fish, but the werewolves in Paris, yeah. From the moment he took his thing out in the bathroom, I knew something like this would happen. This guy is gross and weird. Go back out, knock, then come in. Boy, F you and your power trip. I did not see Sharp Objects, but I heard it was great. I do want to watch it. Chris, I'm kink shaming now. You want a merm person or half fish. Of course, he's sexualizing her because she's mute and Latinx. No, I do still like that detangler, but I use a different one now from Moni Squared, Blood Orange detangler from Moni Squared, which is black owned. Julian. She got him a little card. Happy to have you as a friend. Glad to have you as a friend. I still feel for Eliza about being harassed. Lost Boys is a good pick. Just nickel, damn, I'm really rooting for a Russian spy right now. Chris with the hard-hitting questions. I'd have to be turned for myself and my mate, but like Angel, I'd drink animal blood. Oh, vampires. I did like that in True Blood, they had like a blood substitute. But I still don't think that like vampires and humans would make sense. Like, oh, we can like come out into the open now and like date humans and stuff because like now we have the synthetic blood. It's like, but you would still be super strong and super fast and have all your vampire abilities that will make it really hard to mate with a human. Look at her helping her man. I'm kink shaming you, Chris. Buffy the vampires are demons. They don't have souls. Only a few. I'd want to be a vampire from the Vampire Diaries. Ebony, y'all have thought of this for a while. In Blade, the humans are food. Queen said, Ebony, you hear this? They have been fantasizing about monsters. Queen, let us have our fantasies. There's only one author who's synonymous with vampires, and it's not a man. Tobias Rice. I would have drove off. I changed my mind. Death from Supernatural. Death from Supernatural? That's who you would want as a mate? Death? I will say that Dr. Sleep reminded me of Supernatural a lot, which is good. Like, it was... The fact that he's just chilling in the bathtub and the dude is drawing him. Aww. Hi, Alex. Hi, Marcus. I have a thing for monsters. Many of my friends found it peculiar. Kyrie. Damn, they wrecked Zod's car. They sure did. Getting out, they rammed that Cadillac. Y'all letting y'all freak nasty side show in monster lore. In Twilight, she does have bruises after they have sex. Even though he didn't break her bones, it still doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. Like, I have given a lot of thought to the Twilight lore because I kind of find it a tad. I'm gonna say, like, as a writer, maybe this is gonna sound like weird. I find it a tad bit offensive how much, like, some of Stephenie Meyer, and as a vampire fan, that's been, like, a vampire fan my whole life, because, like, when I was a little kid, my mom read Anne Rice novels, which is how I got into, like, The Lost Boys, and, how, like vampires in general, because my mom was, like, really into Anne Rice novels, and so I used to read Anne Rice novels, and then we, like, saw, like, Interview with the Vampire, and then I got really into vampires. I was really into The Lost Boys, I was really into From Dusk Till Dawn, like, all that stuff. So much of Stephenie Meyer's lore, her vampire lore, even though she did, like, make up a lot of unique stuff, a lot of her lore annoys the shit out of me, because a lot of it is just fucking impossible. Like, even though vampires are impossible, I feel like she, like, pushes it. So I have given it a lot of thought. General Zod is very thin in this movie. With his gun holsters. Look at Eliza. She better tell him about herself. F-U-C-K. F-U-C-K. Y-O-U. I didn't catch it. Thank you. Thank you. She's saying, fuck you, bro. And she said it repeatedly. Look at him getting out of the bathtub. I would not... Ugh. Of course the old dude fell asleep. And now the creature is just roaming around the apartment. A whole motherfucking monster. Twilight vampires are trash, besides them having other magical powers, which was cool, but glitter vampires. I mean, it is dead semen. Because Edward is dead. He is a vampire. How did he get anyone pregnant, let alone a living human? It has to be a succubus baby. I'm like, it's just... It's no other option for what like, it's, that's it. Like, he's dead. And he'd been dead for a long time because he died in, like, the 20s or something like that. The 1910s, the 1920s, he died from, like, Spanish flu or something. How did he get anybody pregnant? How does he have sex? He's able to have sex because he's the undead. So technically, I mean, and he ate the cow. He ate the cat. Gives a whole new meaning to the term ate the cat, don't it? I mean, we're already there in this beast bake. We're already there. We're already there. So let's just keep on. Let's just keep on. He killed the pussy, y'all. He destroyed it. He ate it. He ate it up. I have a little bit of ice cold coffee left for this conversation. You can't really watch The Shape of Water without having this conversation. Like, you just can't. You just, exactly, like, this is Del Toro's fault. Like, you have to... They said he needed protein! A raw protein diet at that. He was a nice Russian spy. I mean, how else does one devour pussy, Davy? I mean, like, he's bleeding. He did. This is the rated RBs. This whole Alive is a lot. That was great. I mean, how look at the other cat is like, what happened to my friend? Cat just laying there all dead. Davy, how else does one devour the pussy? I mean, you have to eat the cat, or else it's just not gonna work. I'm sorry. Let me go back and catch up on the chat. I did not see Byzantium. No. Oh, you're in China. 6 a.m. Wow. 6 a.m. in China, Alex. Most vampire lore is written by men. A lot of it is. I love Eliza's apartment. He's just sitting in the movie theater all covered in blood watching a movie. Like, bro, what are you doing? I would have been like, what are you doing? He can learn how to... Oh, you're talking about Superman? You're talking about Superman and Lois Lane, Owen? He can learn how to... He can control his strength like he had to learn how to as a kid. Yeah, I felt like Superman and Lois Lane having sex is not as far-fetched as, like... Don't play with the kitties. Don't play with the kitties. You can't play with the pussy. You're a little too rough. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. It's too much. I'm sorry. So vampires procreate by biting humans, and that's how they have vamp offspring. Well, it depends on the lore that you believe in. Because some lore states that all they have to do is bite you, and you'll turn into a vampire, unless they kill you by draining you dry of all your blood, which is how most vampires kill. They drink all your blood, and that's how you die. But if they don't drain all of your blood, some lore says that all they have to do is bite you, and within like 3 days, you'll turn into a vampire. You'll turn. Some lore states that your maker has to bite you, you have to bite your maker has to drink your blood, you have to drink your maker's blood, and there's like a whole process to you turning. So those are like the two kind of like main ways. Like in Twilight, when Bella gets bit on the arm by the tracker vampire, Carlisle says like we could just leave it and the venom's gonna like spread throughout her body and she's gonna turn. Or you could try to like suck the poison out. So I feel like in the Twilight lore, all you have to do is get bitten and you'll turn slowly. But they make it seem in Twilight like it's extremely painful. Hi, Jennifer. We're watching The Shape of Water. Hi, Roderick. I feel like in Anne Rice's universe, all they have to do is bite. Because when they turn the little girl, Kirsten Dunst's character, they bite her. All they do is bite her. Beast Babes always reveal who y'all are. I would say demigods count as monsters. Just Nickel. Especially because some demigods are part monster. Like, you know, they're like, you know, like head of a fucking bird and body of a lion and shit. Mermaids have all the yams, not my fault. I gotta say mine. Your monster mate, Nikki, mine would probably be a mermaid. I'm asexual, so we can just hang out and swim together. They don't need an opening. The practical effects and makeup for this movie are everything, Monica. As is the motherfucking set design. Because look at Eliza's apartment. Her apartment is life. Ah, Crazy Random Girl, draw me like one of your French girls, Jack. It's my movie. I'm kink shaming you too. Talk about fucking Jabba the Hutt, Kyrie. If I'm gonna be a vampire, I don't know if I could be a true vegan one. I would be selective of my targets, taking out evil people that the world would be better off without. Just Nickel would be like a vampire Dexter. She'd be out here like You are a murderer, so I'm gonna kill you. But it's certain people that I would not want to bite. Like, I'm not biting a fucking child molester. Like, I'm not about to fucking taint myself with your nasty ass blood, bro. I don't even want it. You could keep it, dude. Eliza got down with the fishman, y'all. Y'all saw that, right? She was already masturbating in the bathtub. Anne Rice in the 90s was a shit. Read all her vampire books. Humans are worse than monsters. At least monsters know who they are. Isn't this the theme of Supernatural in a nutshell? See, now this part is where people started getting like their theories and stuff from. The part where she's like on the bus and like the water is moving on the window, which we can discuss the theories after we get to the end. Like, the water was used for a lot of transitions. I really like the way they did the transitions in this film a lot. She was spelling out "fuck you" to his face, cussing him out with a straight face. I am dead. This bees is insane. Bella's baby was killing her from the inside. It was a succubus. Is the fisherman gonna kill the cat? He sure did. Look, look! Octavia asked her how. Look, she better show how it works. Look at how it works. Look at how it works. Look at how it works, y'all. Look at how it works. Look at how it works. So it opens up, and then it comes out. So it opens up, and then it comes out. And Octavia talk about some never trust a man. Nigga gonna find a way, even if he's a fish. I like how Octavia wasn't judgmental. Damn, he ate the cat. Why? Sorry, it is funny. Funny! Edward would have ripped Bella's walls out with that freeze-dried D. So, see, they're talking in Russian again. You don't have subtitles for this part? I could say out loud what they're saying. Would you like some butter cake? Yes, please. For those of you that don't have captions, because apparently some of you don't. The asset, after you injected it, what did you do with the corpse? Because he said he killed it after he gave it to Eliza. I'm a little curious. I performed an autopsy. Unenlightening. The chat today is NC-17. It's definitely Beast Bake After Dark right now. There's no profit in last week's fish. This is all because of Monster Lord's Monster Bake. So it seems like some of y'all are voting for demigods as your monster mates. I remember Hemlock Grove. It came on Netflix for like one season. What happened to that show? Del Toro literally said he made the monster's features and looks in a way a woman would find attractive. This is his fault. Hi, we're watching The Shape of Water, Passionate About Passion, and I'm sorry that you came in the chat as it became NC-17. Wait for our call. What is being watched? I can't guess. Oh, you're in Taiwan? Y'all be watching from abroad. I date a Titan. Crazy creative girl! Should have let him finish eating the cat. Now it's just wasted. Just laying there on the floor. Just... Look at his creepy ass wife. I do think his wife is also a creep. I'm sorry. Can we watch Bonanza? Bonanza's much too violent. Look, y'all, look at his car. Look at his car. He drove his old busted up caddy home. Look at him sitting in the car with his dead hand. His hand has to stink. Look at him smelling it. How is he not getting blood poisoning? Like, he's definitely slowly dying. Oh, I know what part is coming. I'm not watching. This part nasty, y'all. Nasty! I can still hear it. The sound is disgusting. Nasty. And you know he's still fucking his nasty ass wife. Ain't that nasty? He pulled him off. I don't even know why he was pretending with them nasty things. They were, like, dead. He's definitely slowly dying from blood poisoning. Absolutely. That's how it is in Vampire Diaries. I've never actually seen or read Vampire Diaries. That's how they make how do they make the vampires? Oh, you lost your phone, Remy? Oh, boo. I hope you get a new one. Seren, you're having too much fun with this disco. With this, and while you're at it, you're calling this creature Gilly. That's a cute nickname, Monica. True blood with the maker blood drinking. Some lore says it's all an intent. They have to intend to turn you. I'm guessing it's a different process. I like how intimate it was in True Blood, where you had to be buried with your maker. Yeah, like in True Blood, you had to be buried in the ground and then like come out. Like, it depends. There's a lot of different vampire lore. The bite your maker, and then the maker had to bite you, then drink each other's blood. Oh, that was in True Blood. Oh, that was in Vampire Diaries. That was in Vampire Diaries, Vans. I got it. Bite your maker, and then the maker has to bite you, and then drink each other's blood. Yeah. With werewolves, it doesn't matter if you get bit or scratched and survive. You're turning. Let's see. Y'all talking about Medusa? Ew, no, I don't like snakes. I am gonna have to disagree. Just because both The Shape of Water and Emile had a French aesthetic or theme, The Shape of Water is nothing like Emile at all. The plot is literally nothing. It's like not alike. But Emile is a French film, and obviously Del Toro was inspired by like the old French films for this movie. But Emile is not the only French film with that type of, like, it's French. All the French films have that same type of aesthetic. This bitch filled up her bathroom with water and flooded her fucking apartment. I did like the scene where they were hugging, though, and he was like blue. They have like such great body language. To me, this part is all about the boiling over of all the identity motifs. Like, true love will flood the world and burst the pipes no matter how much you keep it in. I really liked the bathroom scene with the water filling the room. She's flooding the theater. Is he a god? I don't know. He ate a cat. I don't know. He like healed his like wound up. I'm balling out. He closed the door and let them finish. Just Nico! I loved how they were hugging. I love that Sally Hawkins' character was like the protector of him, even though he's supposed to be like the god or whatever. Mold, mildew, and water damage. She ain't getting her security deposit back, right? I would have been like, my nigga, we can go to a pool. I'm not destroying my apartment for some D. Nah. No. Not even some magic monster D. We can just break into the city pool. It's the middle of the night. It's closed. I'm sure there's no one there. You have magical powers. You can get us in. We can go down to the docks or something. I'm not flooding my apartment. But she's sad because they're getting ready to release him. Now she's getting evicted, all for that fish dick. I hate y'all. This live is great. Monica, all this because of monster lore. Where was I? I saw this part where y'all were talking about the demigods. We're talking about the lore for changing into a vampire. See, he wants to go home. He's not supposed to be living in the house, living in a bathtub. He wants to go home. He's like touching the window. It's raining. You can't keep him, Eliza. You can't keep him in your bathtub forever. Oh, she did, Just Nickel. Sally Hawkins does have a cute little body. No, Just Nickel, they were not trolling. It really happened in the movie. She sure did get her some fish dick. This movie is great. It's a nice nightgown. Oh, bye, scrambled eggs. So it's called The Shape of Water because Grinding Nemo is too on the nose. I'm with Octavia. Girl, how? What's the tea? Water is known for purification, transcendence, cleansing, clarity, movement, ability to survive. Yeah, I liked the use of it. Never trust a man. She couldn't stop smiling. He showed her the real motion of the ocean. Van shoes, oh my gosh, what y'all got me watching? That's so nasty. She was fine with it. They turned The Shape of Water into The Shape of Sex. Do demons or angels count? Would you say demons and angels count? I wouldn't want an angel. They seem that they have a lot of baggage. I've seen City of Angels with Nicolas Cage and Meg Ryan. Maybe a demon for fun. Oh, look, Kyrie said, yes, Razy, let me get a demon. Angels be too much. Like, angels be too much. He already don't wash his hands and his fingers are completely dead. Nasty. Gangrene, he can't feel it. Yeah, his fingers were like totally blocked. They were dead, Razy. I want him to lose that whole arm. Isn't the water going to run into the movie theater? It sure did, Ebony. They flooded the whole theater. Wait, all that water damage, really? She destroying her apartment for some D. She was thinking this plan through all day at work. It's gonna leak in the theater. Hey, she's a freak. Y'all are hilarious. These comments are so funny. And Angel, you have to do the same, but the maker had to drink them too. Their heart slowed but not stopped. Monica's on Discord. Monica, you're on Discord, right? They talking about getting ripped. Look at them talking. I really like the bathroom scene. Okay, I saw this part. His hair was coming back. And then fuck this mess. If I was him, I'd be like, bro, do you not see my hand? I have no fingers. Like, he's popping these pain pills. And Vampire Diaries, the show, you die with vampire blood in your system. Vampire blood heals people, and then you have to choose to drink human blood to fully change or you die. Let's see. Sally Hawkins, Eliza really won for the D challenge, just Nickel, with the things that she would do. Y'all hoes lying. Y'all would do that for the monster D. I wouldn't flood my nice ass apartment for no D. Human monster. No. Look, next day is the return day. You're right. The pool would have bleach, real Trini. The pool probably would not be appropriate. Why is he drawing all those pictures? The government comes in and they'll incriminate themselves. Daily thought. Life is but the shipwreck of our plans. I like her calendar that has a daily thought on the back. Yes, some eggs. Look, come on. Doug Jones as the fish man is really adorable. Uh, fish sticks. Y'all goofy. Please put him in the drain already. I would have been asking questions too. Girl, he a man fish. Which part is man? I hate you, Monica! I hate y'all so much. Kyrie! So yes, I see that your dating choices all went back to Jabba the Hutt. Jabba was a drug dealer and a mobster. I then grew up to date a few. I like his power and his voice. He was ugly but cute. Angels have to live up to otherworldly expectations of purity. I don't know if I could deal with that as a romantic partner. Oh, you're not on Discord? Okay, I'm gonna give you the link, Monica. No thank you to Jabba the Hutt. Angels definitely count as monsters if you pay attention to actual biblical descriptions of what they're supposed to look like. Wings, covered head to toe and eyes and shit. I mean, the fact that angels have like big ass wings, I feel like pretty firmly puts them in the category of monsters. I don't know if any of you guys have ever read the story, The Very Old Man with Enormous Wings, which is like magical realism. And they say that the wings are like huge. They're like 10 feet fucking long and shit. Look at them dancing. Which, imagine if you seen a person with like gigantic ass wings in your backyard. Like, you'd be freaked the fuck out. I'm falling out over this black and white dream sequence. She's singing and everything. Yes, it was a beautiful scene. Is this your first time watching, Just Nicole? It was like her... She like had a whole envisioning of, if only, you know, in a dream world, this is how it could be. Meanwhile, he's sitting there eating his eggs. She's crying. She's sad. They have to let him go. Angels don't have the necessary parts, and if anyone has ever smelled wet feathers, it's not worth it. I go with the demon. Have you you brought up zombies. Have any of you guys seen Warm Bodies? That's literally the plot of Warm Bodies. That's like some real like necrophilia shit, Warm Bodies. It's like she's dating the zombie, and her dating the zombie, them falling in love, turns him back human. Warm Bodies is some wild shit. Like, niggas like this general can't relate to anyone else's problems. It's very true that angels would be monsters. The wings are over like 10 feet. I think it's still like the little nubs that are left that we can see. There's chlorine in the tap water. Give up the ghost. She gotta set her man free and is so sad about it. Damn, she's in love. She sprung. That must have been some bomb fish peen. I'd be like, I can't sit in the car with you and these nasty ass hands. Like, you're obviously, number one, you don't look well. You're obviously right. Can you smell that? I think it's your fingers. They're fucking rotting. Oh, I think he tried to put them back on with the bandage. Because they're there again. I'd be like, bro, you fucking stink. You popping these pills, you're obviously dying from blood poison. You smell like a corpse. I don't want to sit in an enclosed car with you. He said, get out of the car. It's my car. Get the fuck out. Falling out over this black and white dream sequence, giving me the artist vibes. She's singing and everything. You can only smell chlorine in pools because of urine. No to sex and water. I'm so against it. He's sick. He's coughing up blood. Yeah, the acid is sick. Somebody said, what if the fish man is married, got a whole ass family under the ocean waiting for him to come home? Well, the wife don't have to know what is going on land. I hate y'all so much. I got a whole backstory. Fan fiction. It's raining like hell, isn't it? Zombies are a different kind of corpse than a vampire. I feel like to me, I feel like zombies are dead, like The Walking Dead. Vampires are almost like the undead. Like they're dead, but they're alive. I don't know. It's weird. Lucifer walked and music came out of him. He must have looked suave. They say that Lucifer was like the most beautiful of all the angels before he fell from heaven. That he was God's favorite, and that's why he decided he hated man and hated humanity, because then humanity became God's favorite. And Lucifer was like, oh, nah, I gotta destroy that. I'm not even about to let that fly. You were speaking Russian! Oh my God, he put his hand in the hole. I would be like, can you stop putting your disgusting hands? One of your hands is dead. Okay? Number one. Number two, stop putting your nasty ass hands on people. You're dead. I'd be like, I'm not telling you shit if I'm already dead. Why would I tell you anything if I'm already dead? Why would I tell you shit if I'm already dead? Oh, damn, he stuck his fingers in a hole. I wasn't prepared for that. Lucifer sounds like a Scorpio. Warm Bodies was a decent movie, and it's based on a book, I believe, that I have not read, but I would like to read. Lucifer was the most beautiful. He pill popping. I forgot about that movie. They only actually kissed after he came back to life, but still. Like, it was Nikki. Warm Bodies was a lot. I enjoyed Warm Bodies. In American Gods, his wife was undead. He said his fingers smell. They are completely dead. I was so pissed District 9 never got a sequel. They did Elysium instead, which Elysium was a good concept, and it was like an alright movie, but like, why was Matt Damon the lead? It made no sense. Look, he did tell, though, he snitched. He didn't even know, he didn't have no idea that it was the cleaning girls. If you're already dying, why would you snitch on them? I would have just made some shit up. I would have just been like, yeah, it was Russian agent thus, and so. He blasted him, blood poison. Reanimated versus undead. Right, I think that's what it is, yeah. Vampires are undead and zombies are reanimated. I am 1000% positive there's a ton of fan fiction for The Shape of Water. Like, a lot of it. Lucifer was a devil crybaby. Why he let that man sit in the driver's seat of his car. Fishmen don't cheat. I'm tired of y'all. I'm serious. Now he will be making secret trips to land to see her. Lucifer is still beautiful. That's how people are tempted. Yeah. That's what they say. That he was the most beautiful of all the angels. And then after he fell, he still was like beautiful and tempting to people. If humanity was God's favorite and he dished out the tough love like he did in the Old Testament, he got shot, so he stuck his finger in the bullet hole. This guy really is evil. He's dying anyway. Right, he's a snitch. Why did he snitch if he's dying anyway? Like, the dude literally told him, you got shot in the gut, you're dying anyway. I'd be like, well, if I'm already dying, I have literally no incentive to snitch to your ass. I would be like, get these nasty fingers out of my face. Now he's pulling them off for real, I believe. Yup, he is. Yup, he is. Yup. He is. Right, just tell him some Russian fairy tale. General Zod was made to play villains. He's got a great evil face. That, Kimberly, that is part of the conspiracy that people have. A lot of people have that theory. I'm pretty sure that's also Monica's theory. A lot of people have that theory. But I was like, we could talk about the theories at the end. A lot of people have that theory. Oh. Of course there's fan fiction for Shape of Water. You never heard that theory before, Chris? That's like a common theory for the Shape of Water. What is the Shape of Water about? What y'all think it's about? How would y'all describe this movie? This is gross. Fingor. He could only do that because he's all hopped up on morphine and meth. You ain't gonna tell me sit down in my own house. Just rips him off. How could he feel that if it's already dead? You talking about the fingers? I don't think he could feel it. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to just rip him off like that. Or, wait, are we talking about something else? Are you talking about something else, Ebony? The fingers? Or are you talking about something else? I think it should. Wait. I feel like I missed something. The implication. Divine Hag, what is this? The implication was that they wanted each other even through the haze. What are you talking about? Just so I can know. Chris, you in this mer people business. The asset has legs, okay? It's not the same as a merman that has a tail. I don't think he could really feel the fingers coming off. Oh, I can't believe you never heard that. I feel like after this movie came out, Chris, that was like the most common theory that a lot of people had about this movie. But I didn't want to talk about it before we watched the movie because for some people it was their first time. So I was like, well, we could talk about some of the theories after the movie goes off, especially because of the way that it ends, which we haven't gotten to the ending yet. So we can talk about some of the theories of what people think it meant at the end. His finger rotting is keeping pace with his mental descent. Fingor. He can feel where they were connected to his hands. Oh. I mean, yeah, I think he probably could feel something, but he probably can't. The fingers themselves are dead. He could probably feel something like maybe here. The merman name is Gilly. What's this running thing with his fingers? I agree with Racy Cranham Girl that his fingers rotting is supposed to be like a physical representation of his like mental decaying. And I also think that he's slowly dying from blood poisoning. And I think that he doesn't want to like let go of the fingers because like once he doesn't have the fingers anymore, he'll be like deformed. Meanwhile, he's motherfucking deformed internally and he's rotting inside and decaying. And I think the fingers are meant to represent that. You and me together. She's like, no, you have to go without me. I can't go. I don't live in the ocean, bro. Look. Oh, he don't like that. Look. Y'all is so sad. And they're not talking. Doug Jones. Oh, he shot him. He shot him again. Doug Jones can act. And he shot her too. Del Toro loves having somebody get shot right at the end of his movie. The main character that you've been rooting for the whole movie, Del Toro would be like, pow pow, shoot their ass. And leave the ending up to interpretation of what do you think it all meant. Uh, summarize it, basically Free Willy. Goofy Ori. Fish folk are just merfolk cousins. I want some sardines now. I mean, wasn't she an orphan? She was an orphan. And in the beginning, Octavia also says that they found her by the river. They found her by the river when she was a baby. American Gods, Undead Intimacy. It makes perfect sense. Look at him. Look at his blue magic. It's the 60s. The painkillers they gave back then over the counter was like morphine, which you give to patients after invasive surgery. He was high. Now he's becoming the monster that he thinks he is. Now General Zod is becoming the monster that he thinks that the asset is. The asset just healed himself. Monica, you're right. He's getting the good shit. Yeah, it's the doc scene, real Trini. Guillermo knows how to tug those heartstrings at the perfect time. Damn, just like Pimp. Fuck, you are a god. Got what you deserved with your bitch ass. No, I have not played Death Stranding. I have seen a bunch of commercials for it with Daryl from The Walking Dead. Well, it's not over yet, just Nickel. Keep watching. It's not over yet. He's doped up. Rapid healing. Wait a minute, is Fishman healing? I haven't played yet, but I'm gonna watch the gameplay on YouTube. Also, I watched a documentary on the making of Death Stranding, and it was cool. Gilly, you better save your lover. He's pissed. He killed his girl. He was evil, not high. General Zod gonna get his ass whooped. Yeah, we're watching The Shape of Water. It's almost to the end. It's at the end. What? Those people must have been high, or they just didn't get it. I saw The Shape of Water in theaters. A couple stated it's one of the worst movies they've ever seen while leaving the theater. That's... no. Shape of Water was the best movie to come out that year. I firmly believe this. For me, I thought it was wonderful and magical. I mean, I get that it was probably weird for people, but... or that maybe that couple was white, and I feel like it was like a critique of whiteness and like white, like hegemonic, heteronormative. I just felt like it was a critique of a lot of things. Like a lot of things. Like General Zod's character is meant to be the representation of like all this like American like normative like all this shit, and like he was the monster basically at the end. Meanwhile, we have a fucking fish, we have a fucking mute orphan chick that don't talk, we have like an old gay man, we have like a black woman, you know, we have all these outcasts that are the good people, and we have like the white normal motherfuckers that are the bad guys. So I feel like if you don't like it, what does that say about you? Right, they related too much to the villain, exactly. Like, he's just trying to protect his country and save his country from the fish monster. He wasn't wrong. This movie was terrible. You know, that type of thing. She's not drowning. She's breathing underwater. Just Nickel. They're gonna live underwater. He's gonna like take her with him. So, now that we watched the movie and it went off, even though Kimberly already put her theory, what are y'all theories on what happened at the end? It's kind of open-ended. Which is why this movie reminded me a lot of Pan's Labyrinth. because it had like a similar kind of open-ended ending. She can breathe underwater. And he got knocked out by the queer man. Right. Like, he got knocked out. Like, I felt like there was a lot of subversion with this movie and with the writing. And if you didn't like it, well, I mean, everybody doesn't have to like everything, obviously. And it's perfectly fine to not like it. But it's like certain things that I think, if there are certain things that you didn't like, I don't trust you. If he wasn't torturing a creature that didn't do anything to him in the first place, he wouldn't have lost them fingers. Yes, the merman from Hellboy is related to this merman. When Del Toro first did Merman and did Abe Sapien, he wanted to do an origin story for Abe Sapien, but the studio said no. They thought it was like weird and that people wouldn't want to watch it, but he kind of like never let go of the idea. And so when he had the opportunity, he made The Shape of Water. Basically, the fucking merman from The Shape of Water is Abe Sapien. Like, it's basically the same character. I sometimes think of this movie as like a prequel to Hellboy in some ways. I mean, the movie is weird. The movie is weird. Like, it's not for everybody. They were white. Look, they were white. Exactly, Xavier. I saw The Shape of Water in theaters. Couple stated it was one of the worst movies they've ever seen while leaving the theater, and they were white. I knew it. I was like, they had to be white. They had to be white. They were probably bitter because they identify with Zod. Yay, Eliza's okay. Those are her gills. She can breathe underwater. This was a critique on love and hate. Yeah, you caught the end, Taj Mahal. They related too much to the villain. I kind of figured she was part fish. This is what happened to Tom Cruise in Splash. Right. Like, at the end of Splash, she tells him he can come, that Tom Cruise can come live with her in, like, the mer people world, but that he can never come back. He can never come back to land ever. He's like, oh, this is great. I can stay with you, and then I can come see Freddie at Christmas. And she's like, you can never come back. Which always made me wonder if he had to turn into a mer person to live under the ocean, which they never really specify, but I always wondered. And he agreed to go and never come back. Absolutely, fish out of water aren't really fish out of water. That film deserved the Oscar. It was a great film. Theory time. Yeah, that was my America accent. You heard my America accent, right, Ori? Kimberly, can you rewrite your theory? Monica, my theory, she was never human. She probably looked human, which is why the mer people left her. Love can allow you to adapt. Oh, is that your theory, Kyrie? Hi, Alyssa. We just finished The Shape of Water. We just finished The Shape of Water. The movie is creative and challenged the status quo. I guess it could be a prequel because it was set in the 60s. We saw you in the beginning, Jaren, and then you fell asleep. I think she's definitely part fish woman, especially because she was found by a river, loves bathing, has the slashes, etc. Remy! Random Seren, my kid always hears me watching your videos, and he just asks if you have an angry video about Jodeci never being nominated for a Grammy. Just silently have your fever. I love your child so much. You know this. Yes, that is a theory, Just Nickel, that the scratches on her throat are actually gills. That is a fan theory that a lot of people have, that they were her gills. Ebony to Remy, your son is a gem. So they told Del Toro no, he did it anyway and got a Best Director Oscar off it, which would never have happened for a comic book property like Hellboy in the first place. Yup. And The Shape of Water won Picture of the Year also. It won Best Picture of the Year and he won Best Director. So he got his in the end. All because they wouldn't let him do an Abe Sapien origin story. He was like, fuck y'all, I'm gonna do my Abe Sapien origin story. I don't give a fuck. Maybe she was half whatever he was. That's why she couldn't speak just like him. The slashes were just way too straight and kind of uniform to not be gills. The Shape of Water is way better than Lady Bird. I'm still confused as to why that received such acclaim. The reason why Lady Bird received all that acclaim was because all these fucking white feminists were like, finally we have a coming of age story, like the ones that we always have for little white boys. Finally we have one about an annoying little white girl. Just like how we have all these millions of coming of age stories about annoying little white boys. We finally have one for an annoying little white girl. Equality, go watch Lady Bird. Like, no, this movie's shit. Just like all them ones about them fucking white kids coming of age are also shit. White boys coming of age are also shit. It's not automatically good just because she's a little girl instead of a little boy. All these movies about white people coming of age are boring. She's silent like him too, never had a voice in the first place. They just healed over or were sewn shut, and the fishman just healed them. Gilly is clearly a supernatural. So this is your theory, Monica? Gilly is clearly a supernatural being with healing abilities. She could never talk because she wasn't human. He healed her gills that probably closed when she was on land for so long. She had to be at least half of what he was because she was so easily attracted to him. Xavier Smart, the villain, was like them. The couple, they didn't like that. Never saw Lady Bird. Yeah, it's just, it was like a coming of age story. Like all these white kid coming of age stories. For me, can't speak for anybody else, but like for me, let me scroll back up. For me, at this point, all of them are like the same. Like middle class to upper middle class white kids struggling with their parents, trying to find their independence, trying to find themselves. Call me Lady Bird. Oh my god, it's so subversive and new because it's a little white girl instead of a little white boy. Literally all the acclaim and everything that I read about that movie was white women writers losing their shit because it was like a coming of age story about a white girl instead of a white boy. Like, all of them. Kimberly said, I believe that Sally was half of whatever the water god fellow was, which was why they were so well matched. So, a lot of people have the theory that Eliza's character, Eliza Esposito, was also like a fish person like him, because we do learn in the beginning of the film that she was found by the river when she was a baby. That even when they found her as a baby, she had the slashes on her neck and she could not talk. She never talked and she never made a sound. They took her to the orphanage and they raised her in the orphanage and she never talked. And he even said, he was like, who would do that to a baby? Like, the world is like a sinful place. So and then when she like meets him, she has this like instant connection with him. And then when he takes her into the water, she's able to like breathe underwater, and he like heals her from her like bullet like wounds or whatever, and that they like live happily ever after under the water. That's like a theory that a lot of people have for this film. I like the theory. I think that that's probably true. But I also kind of like the theory that he healed her and gave her the ability to live underwater, because it does remind me of Tom Hanks and Splash. Like, there's already sort of like a film canon for humans being able to live underwater with their mer people partner. I don't know. So I don't think she has to be like part river god or whatever, but the fact that they specifically say that she was found by the river and she has those slashes that look like gills and she doesn't talk does make me think that that's probably a solid fan theory. Maybe they were meant to find each other so they could help each other get back home. I do like Monica's theory too. Gilly is clearly a supernatural being with healing abilities. She could never talk because she wasn't human. He healed her gills that probably closed when she was on land for so long. And we also see him heal the old man that he scratched. We see him heal himself, his bullets. We see him heal her. I don't need to see more white folks coming of age. It's been done to death. If she was found by the river, that would probably make her... Oh, she was found by the river. I don't know. Maybe she is a freshwater mer person. I don't know. We Need to Talk About Kevin was great. I don't know if I would call We Need to Talk About Kevin a coming of age story, though. Maybe a coming of age story for the mom. I don't know if I'd call that a coming of age story for the kid. because it's mostly about the mom and how the mom, like, we need to talk about Kevin is a whole other thing. But I do like that one. I mean, there are some coming of age stories that with white people that I do like, but they have been done to death. Like, we have a new one like every single year. And the whole thing about Lady Bird was that it was like a standard coming of age story, but just instead of a boy, they did like a girl. Yeah, it was like a white feminist film. Was he saltwater and she freshwater? Moonlight was a phenomenal coming of age story, just Nicole. Right. Way better. Isn't The Virgin Suicides a coming of age movie for whites? And there are like, yeah, I would say it was. And that was all women, sisters. And I feel like there were a lot of coming of age stories in like the late 90s and early 2000s that did have like women protagonists. Anywhere But Here with Natalie Portman and Susan Sarandon was like another one. White Oleander with Michelle Pfeiffer. Like, there have been a few that were actually good. But people have the memory span of a fucking cricket. So if it didn't come out last year, they're going to be like, it was never done before! Shut up. I saw that Lady Bird film and I wasn't impressed. I failed to see the hype. Tilda Swinton and Ezra Miller were magic in that film. We need to talk about Kevin. Is a great film, and it's also a fantastic book. I highly recommend the book for anyone that hasn't read it. And I highly recommend the movie, too. It was great. Moonlight had me tearing up in the theater. If he's from the Amazon, which is freshwater, then they both are freshwater. Give me a coming-of-age film with a black woman coming of age. 8th Grade is a great coming-of-age. 13 was a really good one with Nikki Reed. Moonlight is really good, Kyrie. It's great. It was on Netflix. I don't know if it is anymore. Virgin Suicides is an incredible film, in my opinion. I preferred the book to the movie. We need to talk about Kevin. Oh, look, see, Real Trini said, please watch it. It's on Netflix. It's great. Angsty, spoiled-ass white girl trying to find herself while driving her hardworking mother insane. Lady Bird in a nutshell. Right! Kimberly Fraser. Like, all these movies about fucking middle-class and upper-middle-class white people having all this angst. Oh, I loved it. It was a coming-of-age story. Like, shut the fuck up. Moonlight was incredible. It's not the story themselves, but their place and frequency in the zeitgeist. Pariah. Pariah was great. Oh, well, then, I mean, that's probably true. It is spot on. I'm sure, like, you probably will feel like it is spot on. But I don't know how to describe it. Barry Jenkins, Kyrie, I feel like the way that Barry Jenkins makes films, because I felt the same exact way about If Beale Street Could Talk. Barry Jenkins takes subject matter that is, like, so spot on that it could really be hurtful and hurt your feelings. But he just has this, like, touch with the film. He has this touch with his filmmaking, his directorial style, that you feel it, it is spot on, and you can relate to it, but he just has this loving touch. It's not like, he's not trying to brutalize you, you know? You know, some shit you watch, and it's like they're trying to, like, brutalize you with, like, being black is so hard, you know? Like, Barry Jenkins doesn't try to, like, brutalize you with what you're watching. You watch it, and it's real, like, it's true, and that part does sometimes sting, but it's so beautiful and, like, loving, and, like, the scene with, you should at least watch Moonlight for the scene. There's a scene, I don't want to, like, spoil it. There's a certain scene that you should at least watch Moonlight for where Little's, like, floating in some water. I'm just gonna say that. It's a wonderful scene. It made me cry. It was so nice to, like, see this, like, love and affection, like, being shown towards this child. And Barry Jenkins always includes stuff like that, too. It's not just, like, 2 hours of, like, racism, drugs, homophobia, you know, all these things. Like, he doesn't film that. He doesn't make movies that way. I loved that scene. It was such a nice scene. It was a beautiful scene, Ebony. I love that scene. And I once seen a gift set of that scene on Tumblr, and I was like reading the comments, and so many people were like, the scene reminded me of my dad or my grandpa, or it reminded me of, this person that was in my life growing up that like, was somebody that like showed me some love, and you have to see that type of thing. It's important. I think it's important. I think it's important. And in Beale Street, there are a lot of scenes like that too. Like it's a movie where like a horrible injustice is happening, and they don't shy away from the fact that there's a horrible injustice happening. But like the scene where she's having like the Braxton Hicks contractions, and it's like the middle of the night, and her father like helps her. It just my heart. I was watching Beale Street like, oh Barry, woo, like Barry, wonderful filmmaker. I love Barry Jenkins. I love Crooklyn. Crooklyn is my favorite Spike Lee joint. It's my favorite one. And yes, Crooklyn is another example of that type of thing. Number one, it is a coming of age story, absolutely. And it is another film where things happen, but you're not like, the point of those bad things happening is not to like brutalize you as a fucking viewer. And Moonlight is like a similar type of movie. It's meant to just show that like things happen, like things happen. The 90s had a lot of movies like that. The 90s had a lot of really good coming of age movies, even for the whites. Crooklyn is great. Crooklyn was amazing. I loved Crooklyn, underrated in my opinion. And I loved Moonlight as well. I remember the first film I saw from Jenkins was Medicine for Melancholy. You should watch it though, Kyrie. You should watch it. It's on Netflix. You should watch it and let us know what you think. Barry Jenkins will take the most real experiences and put this dash of artistry on it that I can only equate to poetry. Right? Like, Barry Jenkins will take a real experience, but he doesn't film it in, like, that hyper-realistic, gritty way to, like, hurt your feelings. He doesn't make his movies that way. Like, poetry in film form, the cinematography is gorgeous. Yeah, the scene with Juan and Little. And even the scenes with, like, Little, Juan, and like Janelle Monáe, where they're like sitting around the table like talking. I love that scene. I love that scene with every fiber of my being. I love that scene. That's some of the best acting I've seen Janelle Monáe do. But she's like, she doesn't even say anything. The sex scene in Beale Street, woo, funny. It's beautifully triggering. The scene you're talking about was actually real for Alex Hibbert as well. Oh, was it? I didn't know that. The score was beautiful. The last scene of him being held. Like, I just want to say, Kyrie, like, you should watch it. I think you'll like it. There's, like, a lot of... I feel like it's a very empathetic film. I think that's what it is. Like, Barry Jenkins, because he's one of us, he films with this empathy. He doesn't film Black American lives as this like spectacle. Like, he films with like an empathetic hand, and I don't know if there's another filmmaker out right now that is making films like that about us. I don't think there is. The Black family dynamic we needed. Her family was good. Gosh, the whole scene where Tish says that she's pregnant, and Regina King and the father, I can't think of his real name, and her sister, they break out the alcohol, and they put the records on, and they're like, oh, we gotta celebrate this baby, and it's like a toast to the baby, and they start like drinking and like having a party to celebrate that she's pregnant and there's a baby coming. Oh, wonderful. Their whole family dynamic was wonderful. Coleman Domingo, that's it. Coleman Domingo, wonderful. Their family dynamic was so good. So good. So good. Like, they welcomed the baby. It was so nice to see. And he really was great as her father. Like the scene where she's up in the middle of the night and she's having the fake contractions and she's trying to like breathe through it, and he like sits with her father, and she like puts her head on his shoulder and they're like breathing through the contractions together. Amazing. Love. If Beale Street could talk, it's probably like it probably like got into my favorite movie list, like one of my favorite movies ever. It was like so like just wonderfully done. I loved it so much. Uh, there's a catharsis you get when watching. Coleman Domingo was amazing. Yeah, you have to watch it, Kyrie. I'm gonna have to watch it if y'all say it's good. I'm gonna cry. You're probably gonna cry watching Moonlight. And if you haven't seen If Beale Street Could Talk, you should watch that one too. You're probably gonna cry watching Moonlight, but it's very beautiful and empathetic. I had gone overseas for the first time when Moonlight came out, so I'll never forget watching it. Yeah, I personally thought it was kind of boring at the time, but I absolutely loved the cinematography. Kirkland is a shit. I shed a little tear. I shed a little thug tear, Ebony, in the theater. Kirkland without a doubt. I love Kirkland. I don't know, like, what Spike Lee was on when he made Kirkland. He needs to find that again. I loved it. That's my favorite Spike Lee joint. The 90s was such an era for black cinema. And Moonlight, the actor who played Little, learned to swim in that scene. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I saw you guys said that was like a kind of a real scene. But I see the moon sees me. Yay, let us know. My heart really broke for the main character. And just Moonlight, to me, watching it, which I remember saying in my review video, was just like, man, like, especially at the end when he became like black, it was just like, man, I know this person. Like, I know this person. And this person's not being treated as like, oh, drug dealer, oh, blah, 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 blah. But like actually being treated as like a person with a heart and feelings and a history and I was touched. After I seen Moonlight. I really felt it. And I saw it by myself, too. Which sometimes I like to go see movies by myself so I can just, like, fully get into it. Yeah, exactly. Like, you don't feel wrecked after watching it. Or you feel wrecked in a good way. Exactly, Queen. You know the scene. You know the scene when he asked that question. You know the scene. When he asked that question of Juan and Janelle Monáe, and the way that the scene played out was so good. It was so good. The voice is authentic and can't be replicated. Yeah. Films with empathy. That sounds nice. I'm about to cook and then watch. You have to let us know. Yeah, Kyrie, you have to let us know what you think. Not nearly as deep, but Proud Mary gave me that feeling. The way she interacted with the little boy just had me all in my feels. Oh, yes, you have to see Beale Street, Real Trini. It's really a good one. You just feel overwhelmed in a blessed way with Jenkins' work. That was such a strong opening scene in Beale Street. You're right, everything else feels like I'm being bludgeoned. It's like people make movies about like the quote-unquote black experience, and they'd be like, suffering, trauma, depression. Y'all know that meme where they're like throwing things out? And people make these movies literally about our experience, and that's how the movie be. Suffering, trauma, depression, abuse, violence. And then you see a movie like made by Barry Jenkins, where he's like showing all those aspects, but he's also showing like love, resiliency, and like all these things. Like even the scene in If Beale Street Could Talk, which I wrote about in my written review that I did for Riot. The scene where she's like working in the department store, and she just started working in the department store because it's like the 70s, and before the civil rights era, it was like a white only department store. But then they decide they want to be progressive, so they're gonna hire some Negroes. And so she's like working in the department store where previously she wouldn't have been able to work. And then like the black guy comes in, and previously like he wouldn't have been allowed in there either. And he comes in and he sees her and he goes to her at her like perfume counter, her fragrance, and he starts like asking her questions, and she's like, oh, I'll like spray it for you, you can smell it. And then she sprays his hand, and then he like smells it, and the whole scene is just like Like, damn, like previously we wouldn't even be allowed up in here. And now, like, I'm in here and you in here. We able to smell this nice ass perfume. We able to, like, share this nice moment. It was just, like, a very nice moment. And he did it so well, like, so well. It wasn't, like, a beat over the head with, like, segregation and this and this and this. It was, like, a bonding between, like, black people. Right. The white man, and then he also showed like how white man was like so grabby with her, handsy and like grabbing her, and how like the black guy like didn't do that. You could tell Barry Jenkins loves black people, and like black Americans especially. You could tell he like loves us, and he makes movies to like express love, which we need love, y'all. We need that shit. Oh, Kyrie, super chat. Thank you. I just saw it. I always say that there's a difference between writing film, TV plays for black people versus writing about black people for the consumption of others. There is absolutely a difference, and people need to learn that. It sounds kind, and we don't see that a lot in movies about us. Kyrie, you gonna cry. Raise your Kratom girl. Oh, you gonna cry. You gonna tear up at least. Trevante Rhodes was great in Moonlight. Yeah, no comment on that, Queen. We just gonna keep it pushing. I love the score from Beale Street so much that I downloaded it on my phone. Moonlight showed the humanity of why some people become who they are. Unbow your head, sister. Love that line. Yes, Kimberly, I love that line too. And if Beale Street could talk, she's Kiki Lane. She's sitting there with her head down, and her sister told her straight up, "Unbow your head, sister. Like you don't gotta sit here with your head down. You didn't do nothing wrong." I was like, yes, make a movie. You better make a movie for us, Barry Jenkins. You better make a movie for us. That was a great line. That scene was handled with care despite the question asked. Brilliant. Jenkins is delicate with our stories. And I needed to see black folks in love. Because Detroit was fucking made by that white woman, Catherine Bigelow. Torture porn. A lot of this shit is torture porn, just to show black people being tortured, just to show black Americans being tortured and tormented. And then non-black people be like, I feel those horrible things. I too am like the Negro. Jenkins isn't direct with his message, which makes it all the more beautiful. The beautiful thing about the story of black Americans is that in the midst of all the oppression and tragedy, we've always found joy and laughter with each other. People be missing the point. The point be going... Oh, sorry, I dropped the iPad. The point be going right over their heads. Beale Street's one of my absolute favorites. It was Bergdorf's. That's where she was. Message. Oh, he is? Oh, I'll have to see that. Queen said Jenkins is set to direct an Alvin Ailey biopic. Beale Street demonstrated resilience best in any film I've ever seen. It takes true genius to be honest and poetic at the same time. Yeah, she was the worst part about it, but she wasn't in it that much. Raise a Kratom Girl, which I liked. Beale Street will have you in tears. Honestly, I keep hearing so many good things about Beale Street, but I'm still hesitant to watch because I know how it ends, and I feel like the injustice will make me so depressed. Yeah, how it ends is sad, but that part is... I feel like... I know a lot of people said that they didn't like the ending. But I felt like, number one, that's the way the book ends. James Baldwin's book. He was very... Like, Jenkins was very true to Baldwin's, like, work. And James Baldwin wanted to tell the truth. And I kind of feel like if they had, like, changed the ending and, like, sugarcoated it, I think I would have felt cheated. I think I would have felt like, that's not, no. The actress who plays his sister got something special too. Yeah, I feel that, Real Trini. You want to like support it. I want to watch that Alvin Ailey movie. I love his dance production. And Barry Jenkins is someone that I trust with the subject matter. I don't know if I would trust anybody else to do an Alvin Ailey film. Barry Jenkins be writing love letters to Black America. I'm ready for the Alvin Ailey movie. Right, exactly. The ending is how life is. It's reality. No happy endings. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I said. I was like, if they had changed the ending, I mean, like if they had changed the ending, like maybe it would have been, nice, but I would have felt like, oh, right, don't exactly, right. Just Nickel agreed. Don't sugarcoat it and stick with the spirit of the original work that it was adapted from. But it's still sad, yes, and it is, and it is, and it is. And but like I was saying, like, and part of what I like about Barry Jenkins is that he specifically doesn't shy away from reality, but he doesn't make the reality in such a way that it's meant to like tear us down or destroy us or anything like that. It's like this is what it is, but this is who we are in spite of all that shit, and this is who we can continue to be. And that's what I like and respect about his filmmaking. The ending was how it needed to be. Yeah. And at the end they showed like real people and like real prisoners and stuff, which I also liked. I liked that they used the ending. I like that they used the ending to be like, oh, and all y'all that thought you were just gonna come watch a nice little whatever story around holiday time, oh, y'all gonna also see the way that like you're also contributing to like the destruction of the Black American community. And I think a lot of white people didn't like that. A lot of white people did not like that. And totally like another thing that I liked about If Beale Street Could Talk was that he did not change the fact that the person that falsely accused Fonnie of rape was like a Puerto Rican chick either. Because people love talking that POC solidarity stuff, but I loved If Beale Street Could Talk. I was just like, check, love story, supportive family, Black fathers, empathy, love, emotion. We showing some real shit. Regina King, a good music score, beautifully filmed, cinematography. Check everything off the list. All the checks. Let's see. I haven't watched it yet, Real Trini. I'm gonna watch it. I haven't watched it. I'm gonna watch it. I still haven't seen it. That's how I feel about that Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence film Life. Yes, it was a comedy, but overall that film was depressing. Yeah. I wonder who he will get to play Judith Jameson. I think Kiki Lane would be good actually for that role. And he works with her really well. The scene with Brian Tyree Henry is what makes white people so uncomfortable with Beale Street. Black fathers doing everything and anything, sacrificing and in solidarity with each other. Yeah. And for their children. Yeah. I loved that. I love the way that Beale Street showed just like Black friends and families, like familial relationships. I like the relationship between like Kiki Lane and her sister, like Tiana Parrish. Like they showed like the relationship between her and her sister. They showed like the relationship between her and her mom. They showed the relationship between her and her father. They showed the relationship between like her parents, like Regina King and like Coleman Domingo, like where they're like the scene where they were like dancing when they thought like nobody was looking and they were like dancing in the living room was so nice. the scene with like the two fathers like working together, figuring out how they were gonna like raise the money, like all that stuff. It was so good. All the scenes with their friends, like it was so nice. Oh, and Fonny's family, and I like that they showed that Fonny's family was some motherfucking colorists. That they did not like Kiki because she was dark skinned, and they said she looked low class because her and her sister was dark skinned. Like, oh, Barry Jenkins made like he made a I kind of feel like if Bill Street Could Talk is a masterpiece, like it's a great movie. Like it's a great fucking film. I don't really think people appreciate. I think it's going to be seen as like a classic piece of cinema in the future, more so than it is now. People didn't like the ending, so a lot of people didn't fuck with it. The scene with Fonny's dad and Tish's dad talking about how they gotta hustle to make ends meet, right? Beale Street is on Prime for rent, but I'm gonna buy a hard copy. That's what I do with all the media I truly care about. It was an authentic Black American experience. They showed BA kinship, which is real. They showed the differences in the layers in our families. It was a tragic love story. Fonny's family was a mess. They showed a healthy... Yes, I like that they showed a healthy Black family dynamic, like with Kiki Lane's family. And then we also got to see this other family with Fonny's family that maybe had a little bit more money than Kiki Lane's family, but they were mean and nasty and horrible. And the mom and the sisters was using religion to fucking fuck. Barry Jenkins got into some things. He got into some things in that movie. He got into some things. Beale Street is also on Hulu. I personally have, and when they put Fonny's mom in his place, ooh, it was so satisfying. So satisfying. How can you say that about your grandchild? You're gonna burn in hell. I was like, you better put her in her place. Beale Street is also on Hulu. I personally have no problems with the ending. Everything does not have to be a fairy tale. Kiki would be perfect. Judith was Alvin's muse. Beale Street is most definitely a masterpiece. It should be seen as a classic piece of cinema. Beale Street is a masterpiece, and Barry Jenkins should have a Best Director Oscar. The dynamics in If Beale Street Could Talk were great. And I even liked when she said like, oh, you know how I knew that Fonny loved me? He like gave a piece of his art to my mother, and then they like show him like giving the art to Regina King. He's so respectful of we're not about to get into If Beale Street Could Talk. We're not about to get into If Beale Street Could Talk. You rarely see the reality behind people being pushed into corners to do things they wouldn't otherwise, depicted in the way it was in Beale Street. Kiki seems like she can dance. She's so slender. Her body looks like a dancer's body. Right, and the layer of religion, yeah. I love that they knew each other since childhood. Right, I don't want to talk it out because not everybody has seen it. So... yeah. The characters in Jenkins films feel like people and not characters, which is pretty rare. Even the lawyer, they got lucky. His sister knew him. They had to scratch and fight for everything. Right, Owen. Which I love that Barry Jenkins showed that they were fucking resilient and self-sufficient. There were no saviors in this movie. There were no white saviors. Which I also think is another reason why people didn't like If Beale Street Could Talk. Because there were no white saviors in that movie. They did everything. They hustled. They did everything. There were no good white people. Even the white people that we see sometimes do what could be considered the right thing. The Black people are always suspicious. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this for us? Why are you doing this for me? Why are you doing it? It was not oh my God, you're so nice. Thank you so much. See, hashtag not all white people. Like, Barry Jenkins made a movie that was like, nope, we're not about to have none of that over here. None of that. This movie is for my niggas. Like, that's who this movie is for. I went and seen it by myself and didn't want to leave the theater. Right, Raising Kratom Girl, we in it. It's all right. It's okay, Queen. I love seeing Anjanou Ellis on screen again, and if Beale Street could talk, she's very underused in Hollywood. My favorite scene from A Beale Street Could Talk is that apartment scene. I love that they put the apartment scene early with like their families and stuff because it sort of set the tone for the whole rest of the way that things play out in the movie because we know that no matter what happens, Kiki Lane has her family. Growing up in a poor hood family and watching those people hustle spoke to me. The apartment scene was very whimsical and sweet. There was definitely something whimsical and sweet about it, Taj Mahal. Especially because like Kiki Lane was so scared. She was so scared to tell them that she was pregnant. She was like so scared, so scared, so scared. And then when she told them, they got so happy. And they got so happy for her. And then they literally pulled out the alcohol and started drinking and said they was having a party. And they said, we're going to toast to the baby. It was so nice. It was like very whimsical and very sweet. There weren't any white saviors in Moonlight either. The movie was dripping in love. Yeah. I would actually love to see Jenkins adapt some Toni Morrison works. I think he's the only filmmaker, the only black filmmaker out right now that I would trust with any of Toni Morrison, aka my mom's work. I don't think I would trust anybody else. Even though the Beloved film adaptation really is good, I have no idea how Oprah pulled that off, but Jenkins is the only one that I would trust. Black-centric acting. I love the relationship between Tish and Fonnie, right? They asked the landlord, why are you doing this? Why folks don't want to invest or see a black American film if it could hurt their feelings. Yeah. It definitely was for us. It was definitely for us. They asked the landlord, why are you doing this? Film industry would break if that happened. Yeah. And even like, I even like that they include like it was just like a lot. Bye, Alexia, I'm gonna go soon too. And they just included like a lot. Like they just included a lot of like things that I really liked and enjoyed. Ooh. Remy, that I don't have nothing to say about that. But I think that's because probably in any other movie and in any other iteration of that scene, I'm pretty sure once people saw the way that scene started, I'm pretty sure people expected that the parents was about to like, bye Davy, I'm gonna go too in a minute. I'm pretty sure when that scene started, people probably expected Kiki Lane's parents and her father to like beat her ass or something, or to like yell at her or get on her, because like that's the only type of shit that we always see is black people and black Americans being motherfucking abused and fucking beat down and shit. So especially because the scene starts with like how nervous she is to tell them, but when she does tell them and they're so happy and they just start loving all over her, people don't want to see that. They don't want to see no black girls and no black families and no black American girls and no dark-skinned girls receiving some love from their family members and their loved ones and their friends and their boyfriends. Don't nobody want to see that. That shit is not expected. Why are they so happy and loving on each other? I don't understand it. I thought this was a movie about race and black people. Like, they don't like that. They didn't like seeing how her parents started loving all on her. And seeing like how much they loved her and like the lengths that they were willing to go for her and for her kid and for her and her boyfriend. People was not ready. They was not ready. They was not ready. And he told a story that is still so relevant, which makes it even more mind-blowing. I love Beloved. I think it's a great movie. I kind of think Beloved is also a classic masterpiece that is sort of misunderstood and forgotten by time. It's a very abstract work. It is a great fucking film. The typical, right? I think that's what people were expecting, Queen, from If Beale Street Could Talk, like the typical fast black girl. I think because the trailers too were so vague and people didn't know what to expect and they were not familiar with the source material. I think people expected it almost to be like a her boyfriend against the world after she gets pregnant kind of story, and that was not what happened. Hi, CACA, all is well. Even though I'm about to get off in a minute. It was abstract, Queen. See, Queen said, she said, I absolutely didn't get Beloved and it scared me at the time, but I get it now. It was abstract. Beloved is a great movie. UK gang, we're almost done. We're finishing up. We're finishing up. Are you insane? Right, Ori, that's how it was. Black girls don't deserve love. What? Get out of here. I thought her parents was going to kick her out into the street. What am I watching? You know, it was just, people weren't with it. But I loved it. It looked like a happy film, but it focused, I felt like, people had the idea that it was going to be more about them as a couple, like them, that's why I said like a them against the world type thing. Like him and her as a couple, like against the world. So I felt like people going into it, the scene where she's about to tell her parents that she's pregnant, I think people expected that scene to go left, and instead the scene went right. Because I think they were expecting it to be like a couple, like I said, like him and her against the world type thing after she gets pregnant. Because I think in like a lesser film, that's what would have happened, you know? Like, the young people get pregnant and they get kicked out on the street and, you know, they try to find their own place and it's them two against the world. But that's not what happens in the movie. And I think that surprised a lot of people. Yeah. Beloved is definitely a masterpiece. Soul science fiction. Now, if Kara Walker got into, like, experimental filmmaking, I would watch everyone. Everyone. Yeah, we're talking about Beale Street, but I'm about to go. Yeah, it was subverted. And I think that that's something that Barry Jenkins does well, too, is, like, subverting tropes and expectations. Like that certain scene that we were talking about earlier, which we're not going to go in depth, because some people are going to watch that movie and then get back to us next week. Like that certain scene where we were talking about, that's another one of those type of scenes where Little and Juan and Janelle Monáe are sitting around the table talking about that certain topic. That's another one of those could have scenes that could have went left and instead went right and got played a certain type of way. And instead of getting played in a way that I think people would expect, got played in a totally different and delicate and respectful way. Oh yeah, I gotta get ready. I gotta get ready for Watchmen. Right. You're absolutely right. Punisher! But we are talking about Beale Street, Mar, because we were talking about Barry Jenkins, you know. I love a good subversion. I would love to interview, to interview Barry Jenkins. I might be so starstruck. Like, I would probably be like, I love your movie so much. And Kara Walker, too, because I love her art. Kara Walker's my baby mama. Yeah. Alrighty, well, I'm gonna go. For anyone that has not seen If Beale Street Could Talk or Moonlight and wants to watch it and then get back to us next week and tell us what you think, watch it and then get back to us and tell us what you think next week. So, we will be back next week, same time, same place. I gotta get ready to watch Watchmen. My episode 3 Watchmen review went up yesterday, too. I have a list. Even though Just Nichols said, "What's the next film?" And I have a list. I just don't know where it is because it's in one of my tabs, and I have like a bunch of them. There. Let me see. I think it's Twitches. Yeah, it's Twitches and then Night of the Cobra Woman. It's Twitches and then Night of the Cobra Woman after that. Yeah. Alrighty. Yeah, it is. It is Twitches and then Night of the Cobra Woman. Yeah. All right, so I'll see y'all next week. Oh, I'm gonna read Kimberly Fraser's last comment and then I'm gonna be outie. That's why I loved If Beale Street Could Talk, because it was written by a woke black rebel who didn't pander to the white gaze. Classic. And on that note, I will see y'all next week. Bye.